came up on cassettes and CD. Fucking bullet for they.
I took a hit for the team. Took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity, yeah. I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I still live through technology. Pain, and tears of pain, and a dash of struggle, just be patient. Your destiny will manifest, yes, falls in the sea.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Going on? What's going on, y'all? It's your dude BubzDaGawd here with yet another live for you all. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Oh shit, this is too low, baby. Again, I was not expecting to go live tonight. Ever since I finished this damn video essay, my head be hurting because, girl, it's so used to thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and unfortunately, it still is. But I just keep coming into new information, or things are just being revealed to me that I have not discovered before, and I'm like, wow. But the reason why we live on tonight, and y'all gonna see my face in a minute, I'm over here hitting my stuff and I don't want to hit it on camera. I'm trying to grow in my YouTube stuff, so I'm trying to really gotta play their game a little bit until I get to where I need to be. Then I'm cool. But y'all can blame Deshaun in the comments. What's going on, King Deshaun? Y'all can blame him, okay? Because Deshaun and I were on Instagram DMs. We were talking, and then we ended up audio chatting. And then I said, you know what? Since I'm on the phone with you, because I started asking him about his perspective of the video essay, which he has not watched yet, but he has seen me do commentary on Amir Odom, so he was just asking questions and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I go ahead and just finish up reviewing his Pride recap? And I said, Deshaun, would you like to watch this with me? And he said, Bubs, yes. So he and I watched it, and we was watching that shit, and I said, oh, girl, now I gotta go live again, because this is so confusing. This is so confusing, the way that you're operating. But then I also came across some new information, at least new to me, because again, in my video essay, make sure y'all check it out, okay? The Amir Odom, the house gay. And again, this is not a personal attack on Amir Odom. I don't know Amir Odom personally to attack him. I'm speaking about the public persona, YouTube conservative commentator. I'm talking to that nigga. Okay, I'm talking to him. We get a story or a backstory on how it all started. Because like I said in the video essay, his first ever video, 1.6 million views. But he started through something known as Prager University, or PragerU, where they were compiling a bunch of oppressed people. And the reason why I say oppressed groups of people is because we're still dealing with oppression. A whole bunch of black people, a whole bunch of queer people, a whole bunch of people who do not understand their place in blackness, does not educate themselves about the aspects of blackness, does not heal from the black issue as well that affects their black ass. But they all came together so that PragerU can use them as a way. We're going to get into all that. We are going to get into all of that, okay? But anyway, before we get started, What's going on, y'all? It's dude BubzDaGawd here. I'm gonna be lighting my ish up while we're here. Again, Amir Odom, I do not have a personal problem with you. It is your talking points, it is your viewpoints, it is your perspective. I've already had a few people sit up here and say that they did not even listen to my opinion. On one hand, because of the images that I was using, which I have understood that can be distracting for some viewers. No shade. And I will remember that going forward. But I also challenge them to like actually listen to what the hell I'm saying and the evidence and the arguments that I'm presenting. And if an AI picture prevents you from doing that, then I'm gonna need you to close your eyes and listen. Or look at me, or look at the smoke behind it. The message is what is supposed to be important here. The message. That's what's important. But, again, I was talking to Deshaun, and we started watching the rest of the prior recap video, and I said, yeah, let me go ahead and jump on this. It's just, this climate that we're in, baby, we need for people to walk in their truth. And there are some people, based off of what we have seen, what has been shown, is that there is a level of manipulation that is happening. And as I show you the rest of the Pride recap, and we do it together, and also listen, because I have a screenshot. I'm not playing PragerU stuff because I feel like they petty and they will strike me. But I took a picture and I removed the music, so it's just Amir's pure audio. And 3 million people have already seen this PragerU video that came out in 2020. But as I was watching it, it said, oh, okay, a lot of this is starting to make sense to me now on why this is happening. This is starting to make a lot of sense to me. So allow me to share this evidence with you. But before we get into that, you know we got to be smart about things. Boom, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All the videos, songs, images, and graphics used in this live belong to their respective owners, and BubzDaGawd does not claim any rights over them. Okay? So now that we have gotten that underway, let's go ahead and jump into the video. We're going to finish up with part 2, the finale of Amir Odom's Pride experience. Luckily for you and me, it's only 9 minutes, so that's like 18 minutes for me. And then we're going to listen to Amir Odom's PragerU video. Okay, and then I'm going to show you some screenshots to kind of break it down a little bit more for you on why I am continuously keeping the gas, or pressing the gas, shall I say, rev the hell up on Amir Odom's perspective, his viewpoints, and his public persona. Because I did say in my TikTok video I made after his whole why gay marriage might be banned video, and I showed y'all everything that prompted me to respond. And if you want to go see that live, you definitely you can definitely go and check that live out. But I said in that video that I made that I'm going to continue to keep the pressure on in reference to your viewpoints as a black queer man, and you being a voice piece for the Republican Party. Even though you have said from your own mouth that the Republican Party, a lot of these Republican conservative men are fake, fraudulent, and doing more of the homosexual stuff than the homosexual people at the Pride Parade publicly do, according to y'all. And it's going to be interesting to hear these words, especially the PragerU situation, because it didn't age like wine, it aged like goat milk. Okay? So anyway, let me shut the hell up, and let's go ahead and get into the rest of the Pride recap. Let's do it.
Begging Black Lives Matter to stop.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to start with this then, because I thought it was going to be the Pride thing, but it's going to be this. This is Amir Odom's PragerU video. Okay? And I guess before we play it, let me share something on the screen, okay? Maybe if I show y'all this, and then y'all get into the video, y'all will be able to see what the hell I'm talking about. Give me 1 second trying to find these things. Matter of fact, let's just let it play. Let's just go ahead and let it play. No shade, Amir. If you happen to see this, I am not making fun of the traumatic experience that you are going to share within this PragerU video. As an individual who, let me come on camera. As an individual who also suffered, not once, but twice, with self-deletion ideations. When I was younger, I acted upon it. As an adult, I was in the realm, but I wasn't in the realm of action yet. So when it comes down to that, I want you to understand I am in no way, shape, or form making fun of that. I am an empathetic person. And to hear Amir Odom cry, I literally wanted to give him a hug. Because I don't like seeing people hurt. And we need more of that. He's going to talk about getting a hug or something in reference to a hug. Y'all going to see. But we need to love on people more. Because even though Amir Odom's experience may not be the quote-unquote stereotypical or a lot of black people's experiences, he still struggled with being demonized. He still struggled with oppression. He still struggled with these things, whether it was him being black or whether it was him being queer. Because at the end of the day, Amir Odom, you are black, but you also are a dark-skinned black man. And unfortunately, darker-skinned black men deal with a lot worse. Unfortunately. Even though I love all shades of men. Okay, now as long as your ass don't burn in the sun like bacon, we cool. We good. But again, I wanted to put that out there because I don't want you to think I'm making fun of this part. I'm not. The other stuff we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna pause on that, and I'm gonna do my big one, my due deals in reference to the accountability. But as far as the brokenness inside of you, because I have a heart, I empathize with you on that. And Amir, I'm down to have a conversation, whether it's a public conversation or a private conversation. Because as we watch this Pride recap video and you give your experience at the end, which literally contradicts everything that you stated in the 42 videos and counting that you have about the queer community, even with this whole PragerU situation, I can tell that you're not a bad person. Even though there are people out there who may have hatred for you, people out there who may not see it for you and would want you to be hurt or whatever the case may be, I don't wish that on you. I just want you to grow in your awareness. Because that same party that is rewarding you and validating you and making you feel heard, which we're going to see him be very appreciative of that you also have to look at them and see, do they love me for who I am? Or love me for what it is that I represent in reference to their peace of mind, which is really their issue that they have to deal with. But anyway, let me shut the hell up and let's get into his video.
Using black people like me to push a political gain. The Black Lives Matter movement is literally telling black people that you're nothing. I'm Amir Odom, and this is my story. I was born into a pretty middle-class family. I feel that a lot of my childhood pain and my pain in middle school came from just everything hitting me at once. You know, this idea that there was a white man over me that's suppressing me and that's going to make it really harder for me to do things in life because I was black, because that's just what I was told by my family and by mass media, that, you know, being black is going to be way harder for you. And another thing that added to it was my sexuality, because at this time, I knew I was gay, and being gay is something that I always just heard was a bad thing to do, a bad thing to be. It was just so much. And the things that I would try to distract myself with ended up kind of hurting me in the long run even more. You know, being black, I would try to act blacker because I was always told, you know, you're Oreo, you're acting white. Why are you black and listen to rock music? Why are you black and you want to read books? So I would try to act black. I would get girlfriends, try to hide me being gay. There was one night where I was...
Now, before he goes into the dark night of his soul, I just want to just share in this moment, because again, I have been very abrasive or shall I say aggressive in my commentary as of late. But again, allow me to also practice the human empathy side as well. Because again, this is not an attack on you personally. This is an attack on what you are standing for, what it makes you look like, since you're saying we're going to call an ace, a spade, a thing, a thing. But again, I am about empathy. I'm about humanity. I care about that the most. And I'd rather work on that. And I'm very good at working on that. But anyway, to his point, I had the exact same experience as him. Even though I did not grow up in a middle class family, we were kind of like maybe lower middle class, but it wasn't like, you know, middle class, higher upper middle class. I went to an all black school for the majority of my life, or my childhood, shall I say, excuse me, the majority of my childhood. From preschool all the way up to the 8th grade, I think I went to that school through all of those, or maybe the majority, maybe like one grade was somewhere else. But I dealt with a lot of abuse, physically, mentally, emotionally, from my own people. Whether it was people from the church, whether it was people in the neighborhood, and worst of all, it coming from my peers, it was still abuse. And to his point, I also love information. I love to read. I love to educate myself about things. That's why I'm so open-minded now. Doesn't mean I don't have boundaries, and I believe everybody should have boundaries personally. But life is life, and there are going to be people out there that are going to do things that I'm not going to do, and I'm not going to fight them or argue them down on that. Just, I'm grateful you're doing it so that I don't. I know what that experience feels like, to then try to quote-unquote act black, but you really can't act black, because when I was younger, I was more feminine in my expressions and everything. And it was me constantly dealing with that. If it wasn't at school, it was at church. And all I knew at that time was home, church, school, home, church, school, home, church, school. That was my recipe. At school and church, where I spent a lot of my time, I was dealing with being demonized. But then when I came home, in my humble abode, where I'm supposed to be free, I'm supposed to be connected, aware, safe, I really felt like I could not do that. And because of that, I ended up having my own self-deletion situation, which you can learn more about in my short mini doc series called Wonderfully Made, where I give a backstory on my own life. But let's listen to what happens to Amir Odom after dealing with all of this. Let's take a listen.
Laying in bed, and I was just thinking about all the things going on in my life. And I just said to myself, you know what? This is the time. I'm going to take my own life. It's over, game over. I ended up leaving the house. This was around 8:30 p.m. I left. I went to my friend Jerome's house. He answered, said, yo, bro, love you, gave him a hug. And then I walked about half a mile over to my friend Chidi's house. Chidi comes down. I give her a big hug. And so from Chidi's house, I'm walking back home, and I'm just really thinking about, how am I going to do this? I want to die now. I said bye to the two people who I just love so much. And how can I just go? And I see the cars, and I'm just, I don't want to jump. I go home. I'm like, I don't want to end up cutting myself anymore. I don't want to jump in the lake. And I see the cars, and I'm just, I don't want to jump. I go home. I'm like, I don't want to end up cutting myself anymore.
Oh, girl, I was muted the whole time. There we go. I'm going to say it again. This really breaks my heart to hear him explain this And I'm more so pissed off at PragerU because, as we're going to see later on in this live, that PragerU, no shade, literally preaches and teaches this prescriptive, not descriptive, but prescriptive type of way of existing that literally manifested the reality and the experiences for Amir to want to take his own fucking life. So yeah, PragerU, I see what y'all doing. I'm more personally mad at them and the people that they are and how they were transmitting this person's story. And then, let me shut up because I'm getting ahead of myself. Continue.
I don't want to jump in the lake. And so, as I was walking home from saying goodbye to my friends, I went home and I was laying in bed and I'm like, crap. Like, I left, go kill myself. I didn't want to come back home. Now I'm back home. So you're back to square one. What are you going to do? I'm laying in bed listening to Panic at the Disco, New Perspective. The song New Perspective was really just talking about, I want to live a life from a new perspective. In my head then, all I heard was, I want to live a life from a new perspective. And that was just ringing in my head nonstop because I did want to live a life from a new perspective. I didn't want to feel this pain and rage anymore. So let's just try this new perspective gig. Let's just see what happens. What can we do? From that point on, I made a pact with myself that I will always try to make it each day better than yesterday. While I was in college, during the summers and the winters, I was interning at a mortgage company that I work for. At this company, there was...
Is there a lag or something? Hold on. Y'all forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. I just want to say this too. I am happy that Amir Odom did not take his life. I am happy that Amir Odom is still here today. Despite his perspective, despite what he believed, despite all the shit, which no shade, if we're going to have to be fair, he is well in his American right to believe. Despite all that, he has a right to live, and I'm happy that he lived. In my case, I am happy that I lived too. I'm happy that I made the choice to love myself and to continue that. But I also think that what happens is that when we go through those experiences, we don't know how to heal from them. We just compartmentalize them. We learn to pack it away. A lot of people are emotionally avoidant and emotionally unavailable. And Amir, even though in your own personal life, you haven't experienced the level of racism that other black people have experienced, does not invalidate that. You said, I am not happy that I didn't pull the plug. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. Let me get some ice. Hold on, I need some ice. Baby, water is your friend. I got some ice water over here. But again, what I think Amir doesn't understand is that his content that he puts out, that even though he's saying it may not be addressing the kids directly because he's talking to the adults, those adults were once kids, the gay kids, the trans kids. These were children at one time who grew up to become the adults who are showing this level of awareness that they did not have growing up. Only this negative narrative, like he stated in the video. I heard that bad was gay. Everywhere I heard, everywhere I looked, everywhere I went, I heard, I saw, I experienced that gay was bad. which is why he had to play the game and date women, even though, again, like he stated, he don't want nothing purring. He don't want nothing purring. Rob Marquez. He don't want any of that. And he also experienced that also from his own people. So, of course, if you experience harm and hurt from your own people, there's going to come a point in time where you are going to align with white people. And no shade, I can say that, Amir, because I once was you. That's the funny part. I was once you. I was an Oreo. Oh, at least you're not like those black people. I told you, when I was in high school, I went to a predominantly white high school. It was me and one other black dude that was in the drama club. I was the first African American to land lead roles. And I say roles with an S. Because the drama club that I was a part of, they actually had suspended disbelief to where we don't care what color you are, what you look like. Can you bring the character to life? That's the point of acting, bitch. To bring the character to life. And my short leprechaun ass was doing just that. But they never ever said anything racist to me. They never ever said, well, can we say nigger around you? They never said anything of the sort. They loved my family. Their families loved me. There were times my ass was staying the night over their house and shit. I had to pee. Bitch, I'm over here about to bust my bladder and shit because I'm like, Lord, I don't want to be a black man walking in these people's house and they forget who I am because there's some black dude in the middle of the night going to the bathroom and scare them. Now I'm dead. See, but that was also in my head too. So in a sense, I can understand where Amir is coming from. Because again, not all white people are racist. They're privileged. That they definitely are. Even the Trailer Tales people. And I love to show Trailer Tales. Make sure y'all watch Trailer Tales. Because there are... Let me tell you something. I know I'm not racist, baby. Because I love everybody. I'll call out your bullshit. Just like I have people call out my bullshit. And white people make a lot of good music. There's a lot of white music that I love and sing and shit. But they're not all racist. But to be fair, just because they weren't racist to me does not mean that they weren't racist to somebody else. You can give us your subjective anecdotal experience, just like I do. And hopefully we use these to find the commonalities, because that's what's very important here. Like what I'm doing now, finding the commonalities. Showing you what solidarity actually looks like, even though we got you together in that video essay. AI or not. The pictures are AI, but the words are very much human. There was also a time where I was in the lunchroom with my drama club friends. And there was a lot of white girls in that club that liked me. Now, baby, no shade. When they talk about the stereotype of how there are some gay men that be dating women just to get niggas off their back, girl, I could have easily done it with these girls, and I did it with one girl. We was together for one day. She was so happy. She was so happy. And I'm sitting here like, girl, I can't lie to her ass, girl. I ain't tell her I was gay because I didn't come out till I was 18. I was in the closet until I was 18 years of age, bitch. As a child, as a teenager, all the way up. But there will be times where we would be in the lunchroom, girl. They giving me back massages, back rubs and shit, feeding me grapes and fucking fries and Bosco sticks, breaking off and putting in my mouth and shit like that. And it'll be niggas over there looking like, what the fuck? Well, first of all, ain't he gay? Because I know he gay. He said he ain't gay, but you in the drama club, nigga. You's gay. You's the hard. He got these white chick over here. Girl, Martin Luther King will be proud of this. Malcolm X will be proud of this. And in that moment, I stood in the same level of awareness and perspective as Amir is, which is, I'm better than you. I'm better than them niggas. You can trust me, but don't trust them niggas over there.
There was a boss named Matt that really became a mentor, so to say, and really became like a father figure to me. And he showed me all the things that I missed out on my childhood. The more time I spent with Matt, the more time I realized I was being lied to in my life and regarding the media. My personal life is not lining up with what the media was telling me to be. I'm just sitting here like, what is really going on? I go on a date with this guy I met on an app just to, make friends. So we're sitting here at this date talking, and we get into the debate between Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. And I'm like, Black Lives Matter? And he's just very calm. Of course, I'm the angry, emotional one. Black Lives Matter, even though like not all black people get killed by the cops, it happens too much. And, we have to defend these black lives. And he's just sitting there like, doesn't happen that much. You like me, I'm white. You clearly like me. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, doesn't my life matter too? And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, okay, well, you should just, are you fine with looking into some videos? And I'm like, sure. So he told me to Google Steven Crowder's Changed My Mind.
First of all, when I've been hearing these people be talking about these individuals who just came in and radically shifted their mind, I'm like, did y'all niggas talk to Jesus or something? Did Jesus tell you? Did he come down and tell you this, girl? Because y'all are just so Black Lives Matter. Just, hi, how are you? My name is so-and-so. What's your name? Black Lives Matter. No. Now, no shade. Just like I stated earlier, I also was connected to white people who liked me, who valued me, who loved me. But, and to be fair, if we're going to be fair, those people never really sat there and had a conversation with me about race. Because even though I'm the black dude in the room, the cool black dude, the token black dude, and you have the token black dude around to be able to say, no, I'm not racist, look at him. But then we also have to look at him. It's a very piss poor Lawn Street job ass type of way of trying to avoid accountability. It's that serious. Like that's what it is. And I'll be real with you. I've never been in trouble with the law. At least not yet, because they labeling people like me domestic terrorists because I'm speaking out about what the hell is going on and also doing activism. So we already know what the hell is going to happen. So never had that happen. I don't have a rap sheet. I don't have holes in different area codes that have my babies. I was also, like Amir, not a product of my environment, because statistically speaking, I'm supposed to be dead. Statistically speaking, I'm supposed to be out here robbing, stealing, killing. And what's so crazy is that they were trying to get Amir Odom to see that you're not like the black people that the media portrays. But yet when a black person walk in a white neighborhood, white people coming out not saying, hey buddy, what's going on? You need some help with something? We can help you with some instructions. Or are you new here? Nice to meet you. No, it's, what are you doing here? Who are you? You look suspicious. So again, these people want you to believe, to disbelieve the lived experiences of black people at large, unfortunately. And I keep saying the word unfortunately. So they can sit here and say that way of living is a lie, but then they have the right to sit up here and believe everything that you're speaking, such as trans people are fucking things up for the queer community. Black people are fucking things up, and that's what's making them more racist and making them more queerphobic, transphobic. But, okay.
Went home. I watched a couple of Change My Mind series. I went down a tunnel of watching the 5-minute series from PragerU. I watched Candace Owens. I watched Charlie Kirk. I watched Brandon Tatum. And my mind was just obliterated because I already don't like being lied to. And all these videos are just pushing nothing but the facts. Black people are not dying as much as the media say they are.
Hold on, y'all, because I love ice. Crushed ice, oh my God. Hold on. baby. If there was one thing that I would bottom for, it's water, girl. I love water. Water is life. Just like how marijuana is, so it's water. When you say that black people aren't dying like that, like the media portrays, we have to remember, and I have to remind myself, this PragerU video thing is 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, because this was in 2020. I don't remember the actual date. If you want to watch this video uninterrupted with the music and everything from PragerU, it's down below, because I'm going to always do my journalistic due deals. I have to. I have to. I'm losing my thought. Let me go back a little bit.
Already don't like being lied to, and all these videos are just pushing nothing but the facts. Black people are not dying as much as the media say they are.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you for reminding. I see. This is called process. In the middle of the process. Now, when you say that, again, you want people to believe that they're being lied to in reference to Black Lives Matter. That's all a farce. It is something that's been created. It's a psyop within blackness to destroy blackness, girl. But yet those same people, y'all come through when y'all having these conservative conversations with liberal people, especially black people. Y'all come through with the, well, you know, the Daquans and the Chachons and the Delantrions and the Stephans and all the little Mook Mooks and Woody Wooks and Bookie Books and all the little me moops and all these other people are just killing each other. My cousin got shot in the head, and we have to be able to protect the black community, and we have to be able to do all this stuff, and we have to be. So you can't sit up here and, first of all, sit up here and weaponize something that has been orchestrated against the black community. And let me explain that. Yes, we can talk about the symptom of how there are a lot of black people killing black people. And if black people was as violent as white people claim they was and said they were going to come after their ass, we would have been done it. Baby, if black people wanted to fuck white America up, we would have been done it. And no shade, energetically speaking, karmically speaking, universally speaking, energetically speaking, girl, heaven, the ancestors and your forefathers would have no choice but to be on our side to give it to y'all. But we don't. But we've also internalized it within ourselves to where now we'll harm each other. When a community has been traumatized physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, economically, financially, girl, that will fuck with your psyche. To where if you're a black person who is conservative, or whether you're a black person who is Democrat and leftist, whether you're a black person who's a multimillionaire, whether you're a black person who's driving around a Pinto, doesn't matter. If a cop gets behind you, your heart is going to drop into your kneecap, even though your insurance is good. Even though you know you ain't got nothing in the car that would get your ass arrested. Even though you know you got a good driving record, don't even have a parking ticket. Doesn't matter. Your heart is going to drop in your kneecap because that is an instinctual thing that has been passed down to us. Y'all want black people to sit up here and move past this bullshit, but y'all never let us move past the bullshit, because every time that there's a new generation, instead of the black community being able to give their children better, they're telling their children that they have to survive the encounter. In a sense, I am like Amir Odom. I know how to speak properly, girl. I know how to code switch. I've been pretending to be somebody else for a big part of my life. That's why I love acting, bitch, because if I am, I'm going to be able to choose the characters I want to play. I'm not going to play this in real life. In real life, I am BubzDaGawd. And baby, it is sad to see Amir being manipulated like this. Because again, PragerU, the conservative movement, Fox News and all of them, they gave him a platform instead of being the remedy. Because like I was saying earlier before my thought shifted, we talk about the symptom of black people unaliving black people, but yet we don't never have that same smoke for the white record executives, okay? And the movers and shakers that do big payola. We never have the smoke for them, who are the ones that are paying to have this music on the radio, not just locally, but across the United States of America, nationally, and in some cases, internationally. They will put it in video games. It will be in the top 10 TikTok remix music sounds. It will be the latest viral dance. Your local drug pen ain't got no fucking record label where he's able to put all this shit out. It's from a bigger thing. It's literally from a bigger thing. Meanwhile, these people don't even fucking understand that as they're out there allowing them, giving them, promoting them to do what they do as far as the trill drill behavior that everybody complains about, that when little mook mook, little whoop whoop, little boop boop, little kook kook, whoever it is, when little whoever it is, big whoever it is, motherfucking schmidt, whoever it is, when they unfortunately are unalived or in prison, but in this context unalive, guess who gets to reap all the financial ish? Guess who gets to come into the money? And the motherfuckers be so greedy that they will get a fucking insurance policy on these artists and get high ones because of the risk of what's can happen. And then when they do become unalive, when they are unalived, then all of a sudden their music spikes. Meanwhile, mook mook, woody wook, pooty pook, shooky shook, looky look, dookie dook, mama, uncle, auntie, all of them got to sell fish dinners and chicken dinners and all type of dinners to raise up money for little whoever it is, funeral arrangements. And because for a lot of these people it is real life, that funeral then transitions energetically to somebody else's funeral, and then somebody else's funeral, and then somebody else's funeral, and then somebody homeboy just got popped, and then somebody else homeboy just got popped. And since we can't find this nigga, we popping his mama. And now that the mama got popped, he came out of hiding. Now he done shot up the whole house, hit my little sister. My sister gone. So now my little sister gone. I'm over here sniffing whippets. I'm over here popping perks. I'm over here sipping lean. I'm over here smoking infused weed that ain't supposed to be natural, girl. Some other shit in there, bitch. Doing all this shit, and murder's on your mind. See, but y'all never ever ask the question on how the fuck we got here. Y'all never do. Y'all just complain about the symptoms. Don't want to talk about the root of the fucking issue. But because people like Amir is not going to educate himself in this way, at least publicly. Because one thing I realize is that how some people are publicly, they're completely different privately, at least with their viewpoints. And the purpose of life is to become the best version of yourself, which means that, bitch, there's going to be some times where I'm not going to know what's going on. I'm not going to be able to have answers. And I have to be okay with not knowing, because me not knowing is the first step in the process of learning what it is so that I can know. That's why, again, even though I had this experience, I still still decided to love myself, even though I had to work on the foundation and strengthening that. I was at least getting the ingredients. Girl, you gonna get some. You gonna cook up the nails, bitch. You gonna cook up the wood, the hammer heads. When I was acquiring all of the resources that I need before I decided to build. And again, shout out to my spiritual teacher that was able to help me in that process and still helps me from time to time when I need it. But because Amir has not had any sort of understanding about the Black experience and being empathetic for real, he's now been manipulated by PragerU and his conservative party. Let's continue.
And the amount of weight that was lifted off my shoulders, I'll never forget that moment, because I no longer saw myself as a victim. I always thought the cops were out to get me. I always thought that I was going to die just for being Black. And watching Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, they just pushed in me like, no, you're good. This is not the case. Context matters in a lot of these situations. And when I looked into all these situations that the media was pushing, it really wasn't what they said it was. Coming out as a conservative was 10 times, I don't think 10 is the number, way more harder than coming out as gay. And so being gay was just like, oh, hey, I'm gay, and then that was it. But being conservative,
coming out as conservative is a lot harder than coming out as gay. Wow. If that's the case, then, and this is no shade, just, this is no shade. No shade, just I'm going off what you shared with us. If coming out conservative was a lot harder than coming out as gay, then where is the self-deletion story for this go-round? Because when you were dealing with hiding your sexuality and not being able to find your place, probably culturally, with the Black experience that even the people who are experiencing that wish was different, you was ready to take your life. But coming out as a conservative, which is incredibly harder than that, what's the story this time? What happened? Is there something that we don't know about? I'm just saying that, and it's not me being shady. That's just me being real based off of what you shared. No shade. Let's continue.
And saying I'm conservative has just completely rocked my world, because it's like I'm not just in the left's eyes, in my friends who are liberals, I'm not just conservative, I'm racist. How? I don't know. I'm homophobic. How? I don't know. They have a really hard problem with the things that I say about Black Lives Matter. The problem that I have with Black Lives Matter is what they're doing to people like me. And there's a lot of people like me. The reason why I speak out so much about this is because I don't want another Black boy to go through what I went through due to Black Lives Matter. I have a lot of friends, a lot of Black friends who've gone through the same things with cops, and they're fine, and they know not all white people are bad. But you have Black Lives Matter pushing and throwing fear onto our Black youth. The Black Lives Matter movement is literally telling Black people that you're nothing. You have to march in the streets, otherwise you're going to die. You're not going to amount to anything. You're a victim. March for us so that we can defund the police. Why are you taking the police away from the communities on which my little cousins reside in? They're great. They're running away from bullets. I have such a strong
Again, you don't want people to believe the narrative of Black people being at higher rates of dealing with racism, and we can historically see this. They don't want you to believe that, but yet the narrative of your cousins running from bullets flying, that's the narrative that they want to push about Black people. They don't want to speak about the issues that get those type of Black people involved with law enforcement. What the fuck is you talking about? Have we not seen the show The First 48? Have we not seen the show Locked Up? Have we forgotten about the crack epidemic? Where black men who were slanging and banging a thing was going to prison for longer sentences than those who were buying cocaine, and the only thing that made the difference was baking soda. They giving a nigga 15 years for that recipe. And we see the video evidence, and this is before AI was really doing what it's doing now. Where we had video evidence. But yet these same people are the people that when a black person is walking through the neighborhood or delivering something in the neighborhood or is asking for help in the neighborhood, automatically they are seen as the enemy. And not just the enemy, but the reality of what's happening in the real world. Not in their little bubble that they want to stay safe in. Oh my God, the accountability. Because for people who are privileged, accountability gonna always feel like an attack. So they feel attacked. So when a black person comes into that environment, into that area, they're already on guard. And we've seen countless videos of this all the time. And that's why, again, I'm glad the universe has us watching this video in this present time. Because again, this was 5, 6 years ago. What have we seen thus far? What has happened thus far? We went from Black Lives Matter, the one thing that we're tired of hearing, to literally all lives matter. Because now white America is getting popped. And it's being played on national TV, syndicated television, on repeat. #1 in all the hashtags. Continuously being talked about on these social media platforms. What in the is y'all talking about? This is how we know all this was a lie to begin with. And accountability is coming for everybody. And don't take it personal, baby. That's even me. That's even me. Accountability even for me. Which is why going forward, community is going to be very important. But I'm just curious to see how Amir Odom's perspective is going to be as more of the truth comes out. Because there's been some content that he's made recently that I have not had a chance to watch because I've been so focused on getting this fucking video essay done, which I'm gonna have to go back and check out. But I wonder what his thoughts are. Is he now opening up his eyes and seeing certain things, especially since ground news, which is what he used to help him stay balanced in the whole situation? I wonder what it's saying. I wonder what's happening. And how are you explaining this? And I will figure that out later on because I'm dealing with this situation. Because this situation right here is still the talking point for a lot of shit. Even though the Epstein's files should be the biggest talking point, especially from your political party. But you're having debates as of late, as I saw, I haven't watched it, but I saw it on your post, that you're debating about the trans-ish. What is a woman? And you don't have no fucking idea, and you don't understand the trans experience. Because as we're going to see later on in this live, and we saw in the last live, not the video essay after show, but the one before that, you were in the place saying that you're going to get the information from the source. I'm going to go to the Pride events, and I'm going to ask the people myself, and you asked them questions, and they spoke very objectively in a way that gagged you, to where you had to clickbait your title as far as the craziest Pride event, the craziest festival, and nothing was crazy. And we're going to hear about his experience to where, again, when I was watching it with Deshaun, I was like, oh, girl, let me put something on and get my shit together, girl, because we're not finna do this. We're not finna do this. Let's continue.
Dang for Black Lives Matter now because I'm actually seeing what they're doing and what they're pushing forward. Again, I was there. I was in the streets marching. I was in the streets crying. I was in the streets hurt. I am begging Black Lives Matter to stop using black people like me to push a political gain. I am not your puppet. I am not your tool. Stop pushing this unnecessary fear and unnecessary idea that I'm just going to get shot down by the cops and it's not going to happen. And you're making all these young black boys and young black girls marching in the streets thinking that their lives don't matter, that it could be them. If I can go back to the freshman year of me in college, the super SJW liberal, also on the left, viewed himself as a victim, I'd give him a hug. And I'd say, hey, one, look at your past. Pay attention to what you've been through in your life. You know this isn't the case. You know you are not a victim, you are a victor, and you've accomplished so far. Why are you letting the media take that away from you? Looking back through everything, I feel like I do have privilege. And it's the privilege of being in America, and it's the same privilege that we're all afforded and that we all have. We live in one of the greatest nations to ever exist that is so free that you can really do whatever you desire to do if you work hard enough and put your mind to it. And I'm just thankful to be here, and I love America.
So free, you say. Again, a land that is so free that you can be whatever you want as long as you work hard. You'll be able to achieve anything. What the mind conceives and the heart believes, the hand definitely will achieve. Unless you're trans. Apparently. From your perspective. Unless you're BLM. Or leftist. Or liberal. Or Democrat from your perspective. You can't make this up, and I definitely am not making this up. Because unlike him, I provide proof. I show. I educate. Because at the end of the day, and we're going to get into the pride thing. Well, I'm going to show y'all some screenshots, then get into the pride thing. I am grateful, no shade, that I had parents who loved me, and despite some of the tumultuous times where we didn't know what was going to happen in reference to sexuality, in reference to me, and low-key my sister. Because we're both part of the ubiquitous community, okay? And my sister is engaged. I'm still loving myself until, or not even till, even as, shall I say, excuse me, whoever romantically come into my life, but I'm not worried about that now. I'm worried about me and this new explorational aspect of BubzDaGawd. But my parents went through that. I'm glad that I loved myself and I was able to educate myself about things. Again, education is power. Black people need to read more, but it ain't just black people. It's also white people. Because again, a lot of Americans reading at a certain grade level, baby, and I can read above that. Now I may stutter. Now I may come across a word and my tongue and my mouth may shut the hell up, because it's like, girl, you stutter. Don't fuck this up. This word you gotta type it out or something. You know what I'm saying? And again, get it. Everybody learn differently. No shade, baby. I'm just find a way you learn. You know what I'm saying? Find the way to learn how this shit gonna go. But I'm glad that I'm educated. I'm glad that I have a good head on my shoulders. I'm glad that I think outside the box. And no shade, I'm glad that my parents allowed me to go to a predominantly white school, but by the time I became a junior and senior, it was now becoming integrated. Baby, I opened up the door, bitch. You used to have basketball, football, real hood trap ass niggas doing plays and shit, bitch. You welcome, girl. Open the door for you hoes. As always. But I'm glad that I did go, because I would have had a culture shock if I would have went into America and dealt with white people. I'm still friends with somebody right now who was one of my homeboys in high school, and he's a white boy. One of my best friends in high school was a white boy. I spent the night over his house all the time. I hung out with him all the time. We was like bros. Now his mom do like black men, and he got a mixed brother. And no shade, he was saying some racist shit. But I also was cussing his ass out, so it balanced the shit out. And he was just saying that shit to troll. So I know that not all white people are bad or evil or something wrong. No. You're supposed to treat people like human beings. But there are people in positions of power and in high places who do discriminate based off of this. And it's so funny that Amir was sitting here in 2020 with this PragerU video promotional thing that got 3 million views, mind you. I don't know if they're bots or real humans, but I'm going to suspect humans. Okay? Even though he did all of this, you now have white America saying, you don't have to apologize for being white. Now white people are dealing with reverse discrimination. And now white people are feeling we're the one. Girl, you're not finna sit up here and got me a Cadillac car this time around. No ma'am. No ma'am. That's why we throw them extra runs and throw that extra seasoning salt in there. Now, unless you getting motherfucking JoJo, Kelly Clarkson, Celine Dion, okay? Or some other white girl with soul, Tina Marie daughter to come sing this? No. We're not finna do this again. This all was a ploy to begin with. And I'm starting to believe that people are not just ignorant because they don't know. They're making a choice to be ignorant. And that ignorance is going to fuck not just them, but all of us up. Every single day we waking up with some shit. At this point, it'd be like, girl, stop playing with me like this. When is the day of the reckoning coming? Like, not coming, when is it going to be here? Because that's where we're slowly going to. We have information presented to us that is literally popping our own bubbles. We're already being taught to disconnect from each other. We're already sitting here finding our certain tribes or whatever, which I guess in some cases it's not bad to find your tribes, but the tribes need to be coming together and saying, I can do this. What are you weak at? And I'm strong in. Where are you strong in that I'm weak at? Like, we need to be doing all of that, but instead we still have a conversation about what is a woman. It's going to be an unalived one in a minute, the way that these motherfuckers finna play with us. Man, woman, or child. And as we see in the Epstein files, girl, it's the women and the children. Let me put up some clips real quick. Give me 1 second. 1 moment. Let me change. Matter of fact, let me change the music, girl. What can we put on? If you really want to party with me, we can give Phyllis Hyman some love real quick. Give me a second, y'all. I'm looking for these because I screenshotted them. There used to be a time in my life when we were lovers, and we shared this apartment together, just us two. I'm pulling them up. Give me a second. Again, this is all spur of the moment, baby. Y'all gonna have to work with me. Where we at? Used to be a time when I was in Black Lives Matters. I was in the streets crying with my niggas like a fool. Okay. As you can see on the screen, girl. This is the first thing. So I was, again, asking AI because AI is not human. It don't give a fuck. It's going to tell us the truth, bitch. No shade. Off of the information that y'all provide with y'all mouths, with the stats and shit you prove, baby, it's gonna do its job. No shade. How do Amir Odom and PragerU benefit from each other objectively? And I started thinking okay, again, in my video essay, make sure y'all check it out. How did he get to 1.6 million views on a first video, nigga? How is that possible? But then this started to make a little bit of sense to me. Let's read it together. Amir and PragerU benefit from a symbiotic partnership based on audience expansion and ideological alignment. As a conservative nonprofit media organization, Prager utilizes Odom's unique personal narrative to reach diverse demographics, while Odom leverages PragerU's massive platform to grow his career as a public speaker and commentator. So this is the benefits that Amir Odom gets. Again, objectively, outside of the human experience, just watching. Just like how scientists observe and report, just like how descriptive people, observe and report. Let's take a look. Let me move my ass out the way so y'all can see it all the way. Okay. Platform and reach. Odom's initial traction on Instagram led to a PragerU Story of Us video that we just finished listening to that surpassed 1 million views, now 3 million, providing him with instant global exposure. We're not talking about in your city, in your state, not even in your country, girl, but around the world. Career establishment. The collaboration helped transition him from a social media user, okay, to a recognized public speaker and conservative commentator. So again, these individuals are good at media and marketing and promoting things. So they were able to go ahead. What the hell is this on my phone? Okay, I'm sorry. Something came in my phone. Again, girl, fuck it. I got thrown off because something popped up. Let's finish reading. Mentorship and network. His association with PragerU has facilitated connections with high-profile figures, including meeting President Trump and collaborating with other established creators like Amala E. No shade. Girl, I will fuck that name up. Ideological reinforcement. Odom credits PragerU content, okay, with helping him transform from victim to victor, as we heard, by challenging his previous left-leaning beliefs about race and identity. And he said that Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, the late Kirk, and someone else was able to change his mind. But if you were walking in the damn streets like you claim you was, my pimpin', my nigga, you would be able to understand why they're in the streets. Because if the man is a criminal, if the person is a criminal, then by all means, the criminal, no shade, by law, is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law while he is being judged by a jury of his peers. Keyword, innocent. And we've seen men literally have their lives snuffed out in front of them. And these people sitting here saying this is a lie. But again, that's 2020. But now we're in 2026. White people getting popped in the face. Not y'all sat up here talking about all lives matter and literally manifested it. Just like how this administration was sitting here calling for the removal of DEI individuals just to manifest as the real, true, living, breathing manifestations of the D and the E and the I. At this point, what the fuck? We got the objectivists in the building. What's going on? Yo, my guy, stop by to show love and respect. Kudos on your project. Thank you, pimpin'. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm looking forward to your perspective on it. No shade. No shade. But let's go ahead and look further and see how PragerU benefits from this, okay? It says benefits to PragerU. Demographic diversification. As a black gay man, Odom offers a perspective that allows PragerU to counter mainstream narratives regarding conservative viewpoints and identity politics. Okay? Again, he is a Trojan horse. A horrible Trojan horse to choose. Authentic content strategy. Odom's personal journey of walking away from movements like Black Lives Matter provides PragerU with high engagement personal testimony that resonates with their target audience. Increased fundraising and visibility. PragerU frequently uses Odom's appearances to drive engagement for donation match campaigns. Okay, leveraging his popularity to secure financial support for their 501c3 operations and broadening the message. Odom assists PragerU in addressing sensitive topics such as the use of the N-word and internal debates within the queer community, giving the organization a friend of the brand who can speak authoritatively on these issues. Baby, this is what the fuck it looks like when you do your motherfucking research. No shade. This is what it looks like when you study to show thyself approved. Okay, I'm trying to see if I got any more screenshots before we move on. Because I took some screenshots. Because again, I come through with the SHIE. What is this? Yes, let's do this one. Give me a second, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you haven't already, make sure y'all go ahead and check out my video essay. And if you can, please make sure you use if you got hype points. If you got hype points, I need you to put that motherfucker on the shit. Okay? Is this the same thing? Is it the same thing? Yes, it is. Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. I'm trying to get this shit together. Ikarabo Shande Ishkatai. Okay, so let's continue further because again, he's a voice piece. No shade. So let's go ahead and look at this. Boom. Okay, critiques of the LGBTQ plus community. As you watch my video essay on Amir Odom, it talks more so about the queer community. I am black. We can definitely have a conversation about that. But he talking about the trans shit. And I've educated myself about the trans shit, and you out here saying shit based off of feelings and philosophy as opposed to the objective reality. So I did what I did. But anyway, critiques of the LGBTQ plus community. Odom argues that the modern queer movement has shifted away from its original goals of acceptance towards a more diverse and extreme agenda, hijacking of the narrative. He contends that the TQ, trans and queer, elements have hijacked the movement, prompting ideologies that many LGB, lesbian, gay, bisexual individuals do not support. Concern over children. Odom is vocal against the medical transitioning of minors and drag performances in front of children, questioning how society reached a point where sterilizing children is debated while other age-restricted products like vapes are banned. The pride culture. He has expressed dissatisfaction with modern pride parades, characterizing them as overly sexualized. Who wears the least parades rather than celebrations of community. And again, we're going to watch the end of this Pride recap, and he's going to say something that is like, wow, and I'm going to point it out. Pressure to conform. He critiques the community for pressuring gay individuals to subscribe to a specific political and social role, encouraging them instead to just be themselves without joining a big old group. But when trans people aren't being themselves, you exclude them from the big old group, and the big old group is assimilation. The fuck is y'all talking about? Now let's talk about his critiques to the black community, okay? Transition from Black Lives Matter to conservative. Odom's ideological shift began around 2017 when he was an active BLM protester following the death of Philando Castile, and I wish I could find some video evidence of him speaking about that because I would love to hear what he was saying before he transitioned to being conservative. Questioning the narrative is going to give me an idea, but I want to see it. During a date that turned into a political debate, Odom was challenged on his views regarding police and race. This led him to realize he was repeating headlines from sources like CNN and Twitter rather than thinking independently, just like how the individuals believe all the shit on Fox News and continue to say all this shit that they be telling them about the trans people and the black people. Meanwhile, Epstein shit is out, and them hoes very quiet about that. I'm not going to deal with your theatrics on this. Victim versus victor. Odom felt that BLM and left-wing media narratives left him fearful, believing lies, and deeply unhappy. By constantly portraying black Americans as victims, exposure to conservative data helped him to adopt a victor mindset, focusing on individualism and American opportunity. So you left a narrative that was making you fearful, believing lies, and deeply unhappy, but wasn't you being treated? Does that play a role in reference to how you were treated by black people? And you were in middle-class America, so I gotta believe that you didn't have a lot of black friends. At least black friends that are considered black in America as far as the culture is concerned. But you was getting ready to take yourself out again because of your experience. And you're telling me that the individuals who subscribe to this belief, as we're going to get into in a few, that again cause the environments and the opportunities and experiences for transphobic, for queerphobic, for racist shit to pop off, and no shade, that level of discrimination bleeding into the people that are being oppressed, and now they have turned around and started becoming the oppressors because they were tired of being oppressed. Fear of the other side. He recalls the weight lifted off his shoulders when he realized he could talk to Republicans without being in danger. A stark contrast to the fear-based messaging he previously internalized. Of course, you are not going to be scared, because no shade, the same thing with me. I had a lot of white friends when I was in high school. I know how to code switch. I know how to make certain people feel comfortable by talking. I remember when I was working at a store called K&G when I was living in Michigan, that this white man came in and really did not want me serving him. He wanted someone that was white, but nobody white was available. It was just me. So he said, okay, come on, we can do it. And I'm helping him. And at the end of the experience, he was like, wow, thank you. Yeah, you didn't know I could do that because you were judging me off the color of my skin, and again, not the content of my character. Social costs. His transition led to a significant personal loss. He has stated he lost all his friends on the left and became estranged from family members. And again, because he has now been ostracized, which, no shade, even if they have a different political belief and support, as long as they ain't doing anything objectively harmful and spreading lies and bullshit, then there's a possibility that you can still be connected, because the human side should be what's important. But because we live in this system, it keeps us fighting with each other. But because now he lost his friends on the left and became estranged from family members, now that he's hurt again, he's already been hurt by these people growing up, he became conservative, then got hurt by these people again, so now he has given full, total, complete allegiance to the Republican Party, even though he called them the fuck out. And you can find out what I'm talking about when you watch my video essay, because there's a part where he goes the fuck in on the Republican Party, especially the Christian individuals. And speaking of Christian, I continue to ask AI further, okay, about certain things. Hold on, see if I can find it. Give me a second. Let me remove some of these. No shade. Remove from studio. Remove from studio. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. Shout out to the people that are in the building. No shade. I don't know who you are, because a lot of y'all not talking. A lot of y'all be afraid to talk. I don't know why. Share your position and your perspective. Don't just be watching. You got say something. Say something. Don't you give up on me. Ooh, ooh. Say something. Don't you give up on me. Again, I'm pulling this up. Y'all continue to give me a moment. Normally I would have done this before, but baby, StreamYard, especially when you, oh shit, y'all niggas is showing out tonight. I'm about to put that on the screen. Give me 1 second. I'm still putting stuff up. See how the universe works? Ikaro shande iskataya bo say. Here to be to under the The objective is people typically, come on with the fucking super chat, Pippin. People typically don't who other people have the propensity to, you would put these words, girl, you know I'm going to stutter. Let me sit up properly, girl, and speak with a better credit score. People typically don't who other people, again, reading as it's put down, have the propensity to ostensibly function as tools, and tools for those who are timid about uttering the deplorable part out loud. Kudos for pointing that out with Odom's case. Baby, I'm over. That's all, folks. But shout out to the super chat, okay? We got a super chat last night. We got a super chat tonight. Come through. This is what I'm talking about. Because no shade, girl. See what I'm doing? See how I'm taking the evidence and shit? Baby, y'all don't understand the time I be sitting here sacrificing, being up to 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, doing my research, putting shit together, baby. I'm not having AI help me with the editing process. I'm not having to do that. It's helping me to organize my thoughts in a more cohesive way so I can get it out to y'all, because when I do my lives, I'm all over the world and need to. No shade. But, baby, I does my big one, and I deserve all the stuff that I received, girl, in reference to my shit. Now, with PragerU, I remember I had asked it a question about, like, has it ever worked with someone named Christopher Yuan? For those of you who are unfamiliar with Christopher Yuan is an ex-gay individual. But I found out that PragerU and Summit Ministries are like sisters in Christ, girl. So it's very interesting. So I said, what is PragerU? Stands on homosexuality, LGBTQ plus expressions, experiences, because they're using Amir as, and again, I'm not queerphobic. I have a gay friend. PragerU stands on queer issues, is rooted in what? Traditional Judeo-Christian values. Okay? Focusing on individual responsibility, biological essentialism, and the preservation of the traditional nuclear family. Now, while the organization features gay conservatives to argue that sexual orientation should not define one's politics, it actively opposes what it describes as radical queer ideology. Remember that word? And you good, boss man? You good? If it was typo, my tongues definitely be giving typos when I be talking sometimes, especially when my brain be working faster than my mouth. Now, I asked for some of, its stances or whatever, or what it believes. Marriage and family. Dennis Prager has historically argued against same-sex marriage, asserting that it is bad for children because it legally ensures they are deprived of either a mother or a father. He maintains that children have a fundamental right to be raised by a biological mother and father. And no shade, I told y'all to pay attention to the signs. Didn't we explain in the video essay how Amir Odom kept saying that this was bad for children ideology, this shouldn't be in children's stuff? Interesting. The same people that uses him as a voice piece are the same people who will not even approve of his marriage, let alone support him in his marriage, since they've helped him so much. Don't you think you would want the person who has helped you so much, since PragerU has catapulted you and launched you into the stratosphere, and now don't you think you would want them to be there? But I wonder what would happen. But you are married, if I'm not mistaken. You're married. And I'm like, Amir, did you read on PragerU in reference to how they feel about you, my nigga? Identity over groups. PragerU promotes the idea that individuals should be viewed as individuals rather than through the lens of sexual orientation or victim groups. They have featured gay contributors such as Guy Benson to demonstrate that gay people can hold conservative values like low taxes and strong national defense. Critique of Pride. The organization often critiques Pride Month, categorizing it as a celebration of radical ideologies and overt sexualization that they believe has gone too far. And then the transgender issue and gender ideology. This is a major focus for PragerU, which holds that biological sex is binary. They argue that sex is strictly biological and binary, XX and XY. Excuse me. Opposition to gender-affirming care. PragerU has spent millions on campaigns, including the documentary D-Trans, which I need to watch, no shade, to warn about the dangers of gender-affirming care and medical transitions for minors. And again, for the people on our side, we have to do our research. They're not. They're not. We need to. So I'm going to have to be watching that pretty soon. Who knows? There might be a video essay in the future. Because I was already talking to somebody in my life personally that I know who is trans and told them that I wanted to do an interview. Who knows? Maybe that will open up the door to start interviewing some of my trans supporters. No shade. Fairness in sports. They actively petition against transgender women, biological males, participating in women's sports. And if you want to learn about the gray area that can fix that, I talked about it towards the end of my Amir Odom video essay after show. I asked AI again, what do you think the gray area is? And at least it offered a fucking solution that was realistic. Okay? Then we have this. Education in schools through PragerU Kids. So we want to leave the children alone, but we gonna fuck with the children. They oppose the inclusion of LGBTQ plus topics in K-12 curricula, labeling such lessons as indoctrination and the sexualization of children. Okay, and then we have this. This is the summary table. PragerU's views versus left-wing view per PragerU. So these are all the viewpoints, okay? We have the issue, Prager's perspective, and target critique. As far as the identity, individualism, values-based. Targeted critique is against woke intersectionality and victimhood. Gender, biological binary, man, woman. Gender identity is a social construct. Children, protection of innocence, parental rights, even though they getting fucking barbecued and shit, per the Epstein reports. LGBTQ plus lessons in schools and medical. Gender-affirming care is harmful to minors. Transitioning is life-saving health care. Now, before we go forward, because I have a few more things to show you, let's look at the comments. Amir says, because again, Amir Odom is trying to inflict more fear to the parents so that the parents can abuse the kids when they say, can I wear this or can I wear that of the opposite gender. Or they're afraid to tell their parents that they're gay because their parents are going to abuse them. Or if they act feminine, or if they even try to do anything a little bit feminine, then the parents will get mad, just like that mother that did that to her own son, saying, why are you screaming like a girl? No shade. People who other people have the propensity... Oh, okay, you restated it. Okay. People who other people have the propensity to ostensibly function as tools for people who can't say the quiet part out loud. That's what I was trying to say. Well, thank you. Even though my tongue was trying to say it too. Okay? And we got Miss Candy Crush in the building. I love how you eat Amar up. I'm sub. Well, thank you for subbing. I really appreciate it. And no shade. I'm only eating up the... personal political commentator, YouTuber, conservative that we see publicly. That's who I'm challenging. And like I said, Amir, if you happen to watch the video essay, which if you do, baby, you have a very good willpower, because your ego gonna be disturbed as hell throughout the entire thing. But I'm down to a public conversation, and I'm low-key down to have a private conversation if you want to. I went through the same thing with another content creator by the name of Ron Vugada. Shout out to Ron. He ended up being a conservative, having the same conservative talking points. I reviewed his videos. We had conversations behind the scenes. We had a public conversation, girl, that kind of went left, unfortunately. Then we continued to talk behind the scenes, and now the nigga's life has fucking changed. No shade. But see, I'm the individual that had these conversations in real life. No shade. Now, let me go ahead and remove these from the screen. Oh shit, removed from the screen. Removed from studio, y'all give me a second. I'm just adding this stuff. Make sure y'all hit that like button. No shade. Baby, baby, baby. Okay, so I think it's the last part. We got this one here. Baby. Oh, that was sloppy. Okay, so we could do these here. Y'all is really hanging in here with me. Y'all some real ones. You a real one. Real one. Yeah, real one. Is this it, bitch? This, I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. Okay, let's do this. So then I asked, I said, speaking of PragerU, have they worked with Christopher Yuan? And again, gets to what I was saying earlier. Okay, while there is no record of Christopher Yuan featuring in a standard PragerU 5-minute video or Stories of Us episode, which we heard Amir's, the two entries have a significant indirect connection through Summit Ministries. PragerU and Summit Ministries connection, okay? Joint partnership. PragerU and Summit Ministries have a long-standing partnership to promote biblical worldview content. Didn't Amir say that when he be in his Republican spaces, girl, they be asking him, do you like to suck a white hawk, girl? They be on Grindr shutting down the whole server at the Republican National Convention with Kid Rock, nasty, no wiping, doodle streak having ass girl was jumping around, flinging booty crust around the stage in front of all those paid actors and those fake ass bots. Let's continue. Shared platform. Christopher Yuan is a frequent speaker and key resource creator for Summit Ministries. Cross-promotion. PragerU personalities such as Will Witt have visited Summit to film content that aligns with the same theological and social perspective Yuan teaches, specifically regarding, yes, to your point, holy sexuality and traditional values. Let's go further. Although they haven't collaborated on a specific PragerU original video, they are often grouped together in conservative and Christian media circles for several reasons, okay? One is ideological alignment. Both Yuan and PragerU emphasize individual identity over group identity, specifically regarding sexual orientation, but not their organized faith, interestingly, and critique modern gender ideology. Subject matter, Yuan's concept of holy sexuality, which posits that the opposite of homosexuality is not heterosexuality, but holiness. And we see how holy the Republican Party is, especially when the glory is in front of the whole, aligns with PragerU's broader mission to bring Judeo-Christian values into the cultural conversation. Media circles. Yuan has appeared on many of the same platforms that host PragerU contributors such as the Eric Texas, girl, that's what's coming out my mouth show, and various Daily Wire adjacent podcasts. So in short, while you won't find a Christopher Yuan PragerU video, he operates within the same organizational ecosystem, and his teachings are frequently promoted by PragerU's closest partner, their sister in Christ, Summit Ministries. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. We got a few more that we done. As far as with this part, then we got to do the last part of the pride thing. Again, I'm giving y'all content, baby. No shade. Whether it's edited, whether it's structured, or whether it's off the dome, based off of the structured ish. Okay. All right. So then I asked. I said, well, did PragerU help Amir Odom to launch his YouTube career? Again, because I'm just asking for more clarity. Sometimes you got to ask AI in a certain type of way to get more information. It's about how you talk. It's called communication. When you know how to properly communicate and comprehend at the same time, baby, there's no level of anything that you can't do. You can do whatever you put your damn mind to. No shade. Okay? PragerU played a pivotal role in launching Amir Odom's career as a conservative commentator, though he had already begun building an audience on Instagram prior to their collaboration. Now, the launch of his career. Now, his initial traction first gained a following on Instagram by sharing conservative viewpoints while he was still politically homeless, right? The PragerU catalyst. His professional breakthrough occurred when he was featured in a PragerU's Story of Us video titled Amir Odom, Why I Walked Away from Black Lives Matter, published on October 21st of 2020. Wow, so 5 years and some change. We haven't made it to 6 years yet. And again, that was what we listened to earlier. Viral impact. This video quickly surpassed 1 million views, providing him with a massive pre-established platform that fundamentally accelerated his growth beyond his initial social media following. Professionalization. Following the success of his PragerU appearance, Odom was able to transition into a full-time career as a YouTuber and public speaker. Now, the professional relationship between them. And again, baby, the only relationship I believe that he gonna ever have with these people is professional, because once your purpose has been served, they're gonna tell you, don't take it personal, because at the end of the day, this has always and will forever be, especially for people like you, just business. PragerU continues to support his career through several channels. Content collaboration. He frequently appears in PragerU videos, including deep dive discussions on issues like the queer community and identity politics. Networking. His association with the organization facilitated high-level networking, such as meeting Donald Trump and collaborating with other major conservative figures like Brett Cooper. Fundraising and promotion. PragerU uses Odom as a prominent friend of the brand, to headline fundraising campaigns, which in turn keeps him visible to their millions of donors and subscribers. And while he is now an independent creator with his own YouTube channel, Odom often cites the PragerU video as the first result people find when searching for his name and the primary engine behind his rise to prominence. So now that we have more information about how all this happened, which this is why I'm glad I do lives, because I can do my edited content and then expand off of my edited content, bitch, in my lives in real time to show you that, baby, this is not just a performance, because niggas gotta be entertained, so you have to make it entertaining. But I also bring the real ish in, with the script in front of me or not. Wait, are we saying the Bible is a representation of holy sexuality, as it promotes the purchase of women's chastity after you assaulted and raped them? Really? Holy sexuality, right? You ain't got to be done. Keep going. Don't stop. Let's get back, and let me change the music. Let's do... What we going to do this time, y'all? What we doing this time, y'all? Give me a second. What's this one giving? Let's do this one, because I love this song. It's a lo-fi beat.
In this country.
How do you feel about trans kids? Do you think they should wait till they're 18 to do anything medically?
I do think so. Because I think that if you have to be 21 to drink alcohol, if you have to be 25 to rent a car, if you have to be 18 to enlist in the army, I think that you should have to wait until at least 18 or 21 to be able to make those decisions. Because, like, I've talked to many people and, like, they actually regret the decision of, like, changing their body or...
Where's the copy room? Because you are spitting facts right now.
Really? I don't know. Like, I just don't think that you should make those decisions on a whim. You know, like, I think that's something that should be really thought out. And I don't think that it should be a decision that is being influenced by your peers in, like, middle school or high school.
Honestly, it surprised me, but made me happy that that was a consensus. Obviously, not every pride is the same. I understand this is a pride in the South, and these people still have like the kind of Southern conservative kind of aspect to them. But it did make me hopeful and very happy to hear the sheer amount of trans people and adults that came to an agreement that, yeah, especially transitioning medically, that should be left to 18 and up. And speaking of trans adults, I did want to talk to them a little bit more about how they navigate life and certain things that they experience, as well as ask people about trans people on gay dating apps. So we'll get into that.
Do you feel?
And before we get into that, again, it's very interesting that he said that there are people, because again, he went inside what is known as the craziest, most insane, most out of control pride event and festival. He went to that. That's what it's titled on the video. Over 300-something thousand views. And we're going to read the comments again, the newer comments, the most recent comments. But he went and talked to these people to talk to the source, right? Instead of creating the family-friendly pride event that he said he was going to do, he decided to go to the source to get information. And again, to the personal Amir, not this fake PragerU motherfucker, but the Amir on the inside, you learned from these people. Because at the end, he gonna share some shit that literally contradicts your your public persona. PragerU, all the stuff that we just read about what's going on with that, and you're in this place, in this space, and these people didn't say, yeah, chop the balls off. Yeah, chop the stick off. Yeah, lop them yitties off, bitch. Yeah, dude, yeah. They didn't say that. They didn't say, I know some people who got pumped. I know some people who got some shit. Now, homegirl says she knows some people who transitioned early. Because, again, maybe they wouldn't have transitioned so early if they had fucking information and representation to allow them to socially transition first before they even decide if they want to do that. And again, where are the doctors and the people who are allowing children to transition just like that? You went and asked them questions, but you also failed in your job at asking those questions, which you're going to see later on. And it's funny, you're asking the trans people and the queer people about the medical transitioning, and just like I share with them the same thing. As a child, we're not doing any sort of medical or surgical thing. The only way that would ever happen is if my child was threatening to unalive themselves and was actively trying to do it. Then we will explore certain things. But like CTV said, but if your ass regret that shit, you don't get to put that on me, bitch. This is your life. So you deal with your own shit. Figure it out. There are motherfuckers that go to war and come back with no legs. Figure it out. There are people that go to war and come back with no arm, bitch. Figure it out. Life still gotta live. Still gotta move on. But if they were able to socially transition without people fucking freaking out and calling it a gay agenda, if you would allow these children to explore for themselves, since you're sitting here discrediting and demonizing and denigrating the adults who had to do the work that they don't want the other children to have to do, because some of them don't even survive that. And they're all agreeing with you, Amir. No, we're not medically transitioning. Then you say social transitioning. Ask your conservative viewpoint, your conservative audience. Ask Fox News and them. Ask the conservative Christians that watch you. Ask PragerU. Ask them. Well, what about socially transition? Because it's not bad, because your main argument is the medical one. And we know what their answer is going to be. It's not that hard. It says, hold my beer. What beer you drinking, nigga? Corona. So, holy sexuality. Lot's daughter in the cave. Keeping it in the family, huh? Well, no shade. That's their book. Well, for medical transitioning, I agree with waiting until after 18. But because I agree with medical transitioning to that degree, there are such things as parental rights as well. No shade. Again, not everybody's going to have the same experience. When you give birth to a child, there is a possibility your child may not be what people consider normal. But it is still a part of this reality because this reality allowed it to be birthed. And there are people who literally have things that we taken for granted ripped away from them, and they still make the conscious choice to live their motherfucking life. But the sad part is that I can love me all day. I can affirm me all day. I can appreciate me all day. I can put me first all day. Does not mean that I'm exempt from a bullet. Does not mean that I'm exempt from a hate crime. Does not mean that I'm exempt from a racist encounter. And I'm aware enough to believe that. But let's continue, because now he's talking to the trans people, and let's listen to what the trans people say.
Feel like you deserve a spot on apps like Grindr and things like that, or
Absolutely, I'm on there right now.
period. Do you think that there should be an app where it's like, this sounds horrible, but like just like biological men and then like just trans men, or like there should be, is there, I don't use Grindr, are there filters on Grindr?
I think people should grow into being able to handle that all people are everywhere. And so then just actually read instead of just clicking. Read.
I think it's very.
He ain't say that was a good point. Read. This motherfucker got a problem with trans men on these apps when allegedly you are. I can't fucking figure it out. There's no proof out there that I've seen, but allegedly you have a husband. So I don't even know why you worried about Grindr anyway. First of all, and secondly, if we're gonna have that same conversation about the trans people on there. The trans people be, just like how people be saying no fats, no femmes on they shit, no Asians. They let you know up front what the shit is. So when a trans person lets you know up front what it is, you have the opportunity to not interact with them. It's that simple. And no shade. There are still trans people on these apps who still getting fucked. I remember when I was on the apps Grindr and Jacked, like in motherfucking 2015, 2016, 17, around that time. There was this fine ass trans man. Fine ass, and I like alternative looking people. I like the way my sister be talking about the type of niggas I like. They be like, ugh, you like weird niggas. Somebody gotta love them. I'm short. I'm a leprechaun, so something gotta happen. No shade. But, girl, I'm about to lose my thought. Well, the universe gotta throw some shit in, girl. They gotta throw in some sort of weakness, or some sort of human shit that kicks in, girl. Fuck it, I forgot my damn story. They'll come back to me.
Controversial because I feel like trans men are men, and then that's where people are like, no, they're
Right.
trans men. Trans women are.
What do you feel? Do you feel like you're a man or a trans man?
I believe I'm a man, but also a trans man. I have to stick up for the trans man community because I am, but also like I feel like a man. I am a man. I identify as a man, you know, and I don't think that we should be secluded.
As gay men, do you think that it's okay and accepting that, you know, apps like Grindr do accept trans men to be on there?
Oh, that's what I'm gonna say. Yes, the fine ass trans man. There we go. Fine ass trans man, girl. Fine as hell. Had this alternative look. Had a nice ass booty. I said, oh wow. But they felt some type of way because all men wanted to do was to fuck. And I'm sorry, the type of nigga I am, I got to be cool with you as a person before any sort of start going on. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get to know you in here before I try to get up in here and shit. You get what I'm saying? But again, I'm to a point to where it's like I at one time was exclusively dating someone who was in the process of transitioning male to female. But they was already androgynous, and I am attracted to feminine and androgynous type of stuff, in a sense, to where you can do both. I haven't really been attracted to masculine men. And who knows? There's a possibility a masculine nigga might come through and it might just change my whole situation. I'm open for that, because as I was dating throughout the queer community and still loving myself, even though I needed to strengthen my foundation because my foundation was weak because of me being heartbroken all the time, I dated all type of people. I dated people who I not dated. I didn't say dated. I'll say talk. Really not dated. But I talked to people who was partially deaf, all that. A few people who were positive. People who were tall. People who were chunky. People from different places in life. There was a point in time, girl. It was this one fine ass light skinned nigga girl, but he had horrible body odor. I mean, he would get up and he would still be here. And I still had a crush on his funky. Somebody will love you. That's what I'm telling you. Okay? But now that I've learned to love my damn self, you start to see what you deserve. And queer people and trans people are living their authentic life. And until y'all can sit here and objectively, in a descriptive way, which is more objective and reflective, until y'all can do that, just like you told the trans people, it's all in y'all motherfucking head.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, like, I identify as gay, but I like to leave the door open to any possibilities. Because part of my self-exploration process of figuring out that I was gay was being open and accepting of new circumstances. So maybe there's someone that I meet up with on an app like Grindr that is a trans man. I wouldn't have a problem with that because I'm really looking for a connection. I don't really care what someone has.
Right. So would you say that you're gay, or that's really not your sexuality?
So I like to say I'm gay because that's mostly what I go towards. But I like to be opportunistic. Gotcha. So it's just mostly like what I go for.
Open-minded.
I'm mostly gay, but like I've definitely been interested in, I've done stuff with trans people and stuff, so there's a big spectrum there.
That's a complex question. I mean, that's a complex question. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess because there's like more talks of like gay dating as like lesbian dating apps who are allowing trans female on the app, but there's a lot of lesbians who are like, well, I'm lesbian for a reason, or I'm lesbian because I like biological women. Sure. Not that they're hateful towards trans people, but that's just what they like.
And those same lesbian women, even though they like biological females, biological women, they like certain types of biological women. Just because you're a biological woman don't mean your ass gonna get chose on that fucking app a lot of times. Because a lot of those apps are very vain any fucking way. And there are different type of lesbian people. There are smaller lesbian people, bigger lesbian people, different shades of lesbian, different perspective of lesbian, different spectrums of lesbian, just different lesbian shit. And not everybody who is lesbian is gonna like everything that's lesbian. I'm a gay man. I'm a top. And motherfuckers be trying to top me and I be telling them no. Even though they be trying to put this curse on me. No. Everybody, the people go, you can have your own personal boundary. That's cool. Your own personal boundary, that's cool. Because there's just some things you just not going to do with me. For example, you ain't finna put your motherfucking hands on me. Ain't going to be no physical abuse or nothing like that. Now, a little bit of rough house and rough play wrestling type shit, I'm cool with that. But even people who do BDSM and all that shit, they have safe words. Banana. Damn it, baby banana. So it's okay. You ain't got to deal with the trans woman. You don't have to. But there are also lesbians who there are lesbians, or to be honest, there are people who you would identify or claim to be lesbian who also like getting dicked down by biological males. Because yes, you can have the plastic baby, but no shade. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. No shade. Now, there are alternatives that get the job done because it should be more than just that. But I'm just saying. And even, again, if y'all go ahead, again, shout out to the Objectivist podcast in the building. One of the realest niggas that I've met in these heterosexual streets. Keyword, the realist. Sorry. Y'all want to go ahead and go to his... Make sure y'all subscribe to him first of all, even though hopefully he comes back to YouTube, because there needs to be some collaboration that needs to happen. But they will happen in due time when it happens. No shade, no rush. But if you go to his content, if I'm not mistaken, the first live that he did spoke about all this stuff that was now going to happen. What we're seeing now. I lost my thought and I'm trying to find it. And baby, that's going to be one of my quirks, y'all. Y'all already know how I get down, girl, but it always come back. Maybe it's a breather for some of them hoes. Maybe it's a breather for some of them hoes, girl. Damn, he's saying so much shit. Slow down. Well, that's why the replay is here. I would love for some of you motherfuckers to be able to do what I'm doing right now. Some of you niggas need a team of people around you to do anything. I'm doing this shit by myself. As far as being up here giving commentary. Yes, Christian nationalism. Again, PragerU, Summit Ministries, Amir Odom, Christian nationalism. I had my thought, but whatever. Let's continue further. Yes, and also the LGBTQ plus civil war that he spoke on. A heterosexual man, despite what other motherfuckers say, who got bigger titties than their wives. He spoke on that in an objective way to where, that's what I was going. Thank you, the Objective Podcast. Make sure the Christian nationalism, he brought that up first. That was most important. But then for the LGBT, the queer civil war, he shared a video to where it was like, okay, this nigga really is living up to his name. He shared a video about, if I don't remember particularly what they were. I don't know if they were a scientist or a psychiatrist or something, but they were saying that when queer people were saying, oh, we're born this way, we're born this way, we're born this way, that was being used as a defense. Because, no shade, I do believe that there are inclinations in us that we instinctually fucking know. It's just the reality around us doesn't have a safe space for us to even see if that's the case. So fear blooms. But she stated that as much as we believe that sexuality is binary and just black and white, it's really gray as fuck. And there are 50 shades of these motherfuckers. Okay? So there is a lot of gray area here that we don't explore. And like he said in the Christian nationalism one, the solution has always been in the middle of it. In the middle of it. Just like how a lot of y'all want to be in the middle of two lips, this set and the other set. Just like how a nigga like me want to be in between the cheeks. You want to be in the middle. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. You want to be in the middle of it. And I believe that Amir is going to get to the middle of this. Because he say he middle right-leaning. You over here giving Prager its praises and talking about I left the Black Lives Matter community and all this other type of stuff. And I met these white people who came through like Jesus and changed my Negro mind. And now I just see it. And now you're middle but still right-leaning as far as conservative, but yet, let me shut the hell up so y'all can see what I'm talking about, baby, because the ending part is what got me. It's what motivated this live, for real.
Their own place?
I do, but then I also guess that trans people deserve their own space as well. like a safe dating app or something.
Right. So you'd be fine with both, like a little bit of a separation. Not that separation means exclusion, but separation means being more inclusive to whatever you are doing.
Exactly.
And the funny part is that even though the women will be separate, the men will be fucking both the trans women and both biological women. So they have two apps now to where they definitely ain't gonna get caught when they sticking their dick in both. Let's continue.
What's your opinion on trans people on gay dating apps? So for example, like on Grindr, you have you know, you're trying to get with another dude because we're all gay or bi, and sexuality, male, female, penis, vagina, and you meet up with somebody and they have a vagina. Do you think there should be apps separate for that, or it's okay for trans men to be on Grindr?
No shade. Amir got some nice ass arms. I ain't gonna hold you. He got some nice arms. I know his arms was nice like that. Come on, lifting weights.
I don't feel like there should be a separate app, but at least inform them ahead of time or put that in your bio, I guess. I'm trans or whatever, you know. Because it'd be some fine trans men and boom, it's a vagina.
They definitely need to disclose who they are and be careful about the settings that they put themselves in. That's just the truth of the matter. And speaking of the truth,
trans people do be careful about the settings they put themselves in, which is why a lot of times when they're not in safe spaces and safe environments, you expect them to tell the truth in a space where they can get fucked up at. Again, if it was, oh, you know, thank you for letting me know, I appreciate it. I'm not interested, but I hope you find what you're looking for and move on. That's not a problem. But that's rarely the case because it is a trans person revealing to this man what their T is. It is then reacted in a violent way because now their manhood or the societal expectation placed on that manhood, okay, is now compromised. And now they got to try to fix it. And that's why I'm saying the logic is not really logicking, because it's like you want trans people to disclose shit, but y'all also want to discriminate against them for being trans. And then when they don't tell you the T and you find out, now you mad and you upset that they're trans, because again, this is about what society thinks about you, as opposed to what the fuck you think about your damn self. Because what you think about yourself is far more important than what other people think about you. Because when you spend so much time thinking about what other people think about you, and you don't have no strong foundation mentally, emotionally within yourself, your mind, especially for someone like me who overthinks, now I'm getting more control of my thoughts and observing my thoughts and exploring different ways to think of things. Before then, it would just take over my mind because I was battling my mind, not because it was something innately in me that I did that was confusing me. It was my reality around me that influenced that type of thinking. So y'all gonna have to pick a struggle. Either y'all gonna want trans people to tell the truth, or you gonna want them to be quiet. Which one? Because you can't have both, boo. You gotta make a choice. Because y'all get mad at the openly trans people.
I did want to ask people about their
What's
truth,
up, Queen
about their life and what they wish they would have told their
What's up,
younger self.
Queen
What's
Amber?
a piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
My younger self, definitely, like, be less worried about what other people think about you.
Didn't I just say that?
You have your own style. Go right out there.
Just be
Didn't I just say that?
more accepting of yourself. So
just allowing myself to explore other things and don't let myself just be boxed out.
I thought about this a lot, but basically, just again, give it time. Not everything is going to be the same when you're younger and when you're older. I was not the always happiest as a kid, and you know what? I'm really proud of who I became, but it did take time.
Don't give up on your art, and don't let people tell you how to live your life.
I'll just remind myself that it's really not as bad as you think. There are more people like you than you believe there are. You're not alone, and just, you know, be yourself, and the people that love you will remain there.
Don't give yourself up to fear. I've been a victim of just pushing myself into fear for a lot of my life. I feel like that's not productive. Discover yourself. Be free with who you are and your expression of yourself. There's no point in living in fear. It's not productive. Just express yourself. Be yourself. That's the best part of this, you know?
And honestly, I tell myself that too.
Now, before he get into his part, which is gonna gag all y'all, No shade. Did you notice how every single person that what's going on outside? Girls, ice around? Um, everybody that he asked that question to literally all said the same thing. Maybe differently, maybe in a unique type of way. But they all said the same thing. To love yourself. To be yourself. To have your own style. To have your own unique perspective. To figure out what life is for you. To interpret life the way that feels good for you and manifests good for you. But at the same time, because we are learning and evolving, a part of our personality, I believe, changes every 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. Certain life experiences happen to us. A motherfucker could become a paraplegic tomorrow and their life has changed. Someone can come home to their wife sitting at the table with divorce papers. Their life can change. Hell, after 20-some plus years of marriage, can turn over to their partner, good morning, baby, and they partner cold and stiff as fuck. That's a change in life. Someone's loved one passes away unexpectedly. That's a change in life. So we all gonna have changes in life. But if we're gonna use that argument, then Amir, you should be diving into some coochie right now. I need to be diving into some coochie right now. Straight niggas need to be diving into some male booty right now, since things change. But you want heterosexuality to be the same. But you want everybody to live the same way. And unlike a lot of Amir Odom's comment sections and supporters, I was about to say something else, supporters, which we're going to get into again, even some of the most recent newest comments underneath the video that came out a year ago. This video came out a year ago. Let's take a listen at what Amir learned. And this gives me hope for Amir. Again, I didn't make that video essay to hate on nobody because I don't even know you to hate you. You would have to like unalive my whole family and almost unalive me, and I have to use hate to be able to push through the shit. But I don't hate you. I don't know you. I believe you have a good heart. I believe there's still some brokenness on the inside, and that's even me speaking to myself. We all are healing. But the community aspect, the heart work, the love work, the heart chakra work, the objective work, what you're doing right now, talking to all these people, and him saying at the end, oh, well, maybe if you guys want me to travel to different cities, I can. They said no, because you failed in the application of what they wanted you to do since you were going inside. Just like how they expect Christian people to go. Girl, he gonna say, we gonna get to it, he gonna share it in a minute, about how he didn't want to challenge people because that wasn't the right place and the right time. But the people who are PragerU people, the people who are Summit Ministry people, that's funny because a lot of people who are conservative in their thinking and Judeo-Christianity and believing that the queer community and the trans thing is horrible, they don't have no problem standing outside of the Pride event with their picket signs. And if they could, they would go in there. And if they really could, they would sit up here and manifest or use the story of Jesus whooping ass in the temple and transmute it into their own context. I literally was on a panel with a man who idolized white men, who had a Facebook group called Something Twinkle Farts, where it was a bunch of cisgendered white men going to schools where they were reading stuff to children, drag queens, or some sort of queer shit happening that wasn't heterosexual, and they came up to the school with semi-automatic weaponry, probably working for ICE right now. And these motherfuckers said that they want to emulate them. That's what we need to do. But here it is. Amir again went inside the craziest pride event and parade. That's what it's titled as. And let's take a listen at what his experience was. Because again, They talked about loving yourself. Didn't nobody say, yes, give these pamphlets to children. It shows them how to dush at 5. Give these pamphlets to the little girls. It shows them how to put it around your neck at 7. It wasn't any of that. It wasn't any of the Epstein shit that's out now. None of that was happening in the pride parades. None of that. But let's take a listen at what Amir's perspective was of being at this crazy, insane pride event.
There's no need to live in fear. There's no need to have this urge and fight to fit in. You don't have to strive hard to fit into the black community or fit into the gay community. You will be okay being 100% yourself, and you will find friends in those areas that work for you. My experience overall, this whole pride event and pride parade was so productive and thorough, and I genuinely had a really good time.
Now, when I was watching this with Deshaun, I had ice, because again, I've been eating on ice, girl, because just with the smoking and the edibles and stuff, girl, you get cotton mouth and stuff. This ice shit be so damn good. But when that happened, I almost choked on the ice on the phone with Deshaun because we was watching this through Instagram. And I paused and I said, huh, what? Nigga, you spent, again, 42 videos. Okay? 42 videos. Speaking about why no one likes the pride community, why no one likes pride events, why no one likes the pride for festivals. Y'all doing too much. You're exposing shit to children. Oh my God, the children. Y'all got dildos in front of the children. You got naked men, old men, Epstein, niggas around the children. You got all this stuff going on around the kids. And then he labels his video, that video, inside the most insane. What is the damn thing, girl? Let me look it up on my thing so I can quote it right. Inside the craziest gay pride parade. And you had a good time? You enjoyed yourself? It was completely thorough? Even though you said you saw some shit that you didn't like and you didn't show us. You could have blurred it out or something. At least it adds to the mystery. At least it adds to your case. At least it adds to PragerU's perspective. You didn't show any of that. And even though you was around the shit and the children was around, and that was the one thing that you were claiming was the problem the whole entire time, and you got your support base and PragerU and everybody gassing you the hell up to do your damn job. Because you're going inside to see what's happening so that we can transmute this to use against them. And you end up saying you had a good time? Not a good time, but a good time. I had a good time. A good time. You had a good time, Amir. Continue to tell us about how your time was good.
I know some people are wondering why I probably didn't combat some of the people's certain claims, but that was because you got to know your time and place. I'm at a pride event, pride parade. That is not the place to really try and fight and change someone's mind. I was gauging the...
Hold on. But that's the Civil War. Hold on. The Civil War. They ain't gonna fix it. They want you to go in and continue with the Civil War. So they were expecting you to go in and do your due deal. And you were saying all these things online, how you don't like the pride shit. And now that you are in the experience for yourself, you had a good time. And even though they were saying things, you ain't want to push back. Even though, as he's going to share, he had his bodyguard there with him. If I had my bodyguard with me, that's when you really talk shit then, bitch, because you got a bodyguard. Make him work. That bodyguard basically had a paid day off with you. Your bodyguard made easy money that day instead of you putting his ass to work to guard your body. You had the opportunity in that moment to, like, literally challenge them. And there's a way you can talk to motherfuckers without it getting aggressive. And again, if it gets aggressive, you got your bodyguard. I'm pretty sure your bodyguard, and I saw your arms. I feel like you would give them twinks a damn run for their money. No shade. But now you had a good time. You enjoyed yourself. And continue to share more about your perspective, sir.
There were some people I felt comfortable pushing back on, and there were some other people where I was like, they're clearly set in their ways, and you know, that's okay. I'm here at their event. I'm approaching them. I'm gonna maintain being nice, respectful, and not like try to trigger them, because I didn't go there for that. I didn't.
But yet, you have a video where you're literally having a debate about what is a woman that you just recently did a few days ago. But you didn't want to do it at the queer event. You was talking all this Hercules. What's the nigga from Witcher? Geralt of Riviera or Revolt, whatever. You talking this Game of Thrones, draconian-ish, about the trans community, girl, and the queer community. And now that you in the belly of the beast, there is no weapons?
Go there to listen to respond. I went there to listen to understand. My mind was never changed by a gotcha moment or rude people. It was changed by people questioning me. It was changed by people having conversations with me.
Okay, and if that's the case, Amir, if you watch my video essay, I asked you some questions. Again, your ego will be triggered with my shit. But again, if you can push through, which I believe you can, you got it in you. I asked you some questions. And again, I'm down for a public conversation or a private conversation. I'm down for that. Because just like how you saying you trying to understand, so am I. I'm one of the individuals that really be trying to understand. For the people that have been rocking with me, they know that. But it's very interesting that you said that.
That's how my mind was changed. That's how my worldview was opened up, because it made me think internally for myself, thinking like, wow, what that guy said, that really got to me. Or like, I really didn't have a good response. Like, how do I really feel? And I think that throughout this day, there were a lot of minds changed, because there were a lot of moments where people sat back and they were like, that is a good point.
And again, I'm glad to say that you also acknowledge that. Now, can your subscriber base, can PragerU, can your supporters do the same is the question.
And that was my goal. I didn't want to go in there, how many genders are there? I didn't want to go like, this is wrong, or actually this source and this, that no, was not the time or place for that at all. The energy you give is the energy you get. In that whole day, granted, I did have my bodyguard with me. It was very respectful. It was calm. Every interaction that we had ended in either a hug or a handshake. Such a good experience to me. But also let me know if I should do more man on the streets. Listen, I take my same crew. I have no problem going out in Nashville or traveling to different cities and asking people questions about certain things. So if you liked this, let me know below. Again, thank you so much for subscribing and watching and tagging along. It means the world to me to have your support. It means the world to me that this is even...
And this is the part again, because no shade. A lot of people are trying or are manifesting alternate ways of streams of income using their gifts and their talents. I am one of them. And out of my ass is YouTube partner, baby. I'm going to be using my gifts and talents to be able to bring forth the reality that I deserve. But this is not just about me, even though I'm going to get mine. Because I got my motherfucking key. My fingerprint. Nobody in the world, my mother and father, even though they made me, don't have the same fingerprint as me. It's mine. It's unique. It's individual. So this is my key to this experience. So I'm gonna get what's mine. But I want to get to a place to where I'm in such an overflow that I can share it with other people genuinely. Which means that I'm also going to change in the way that I think about things. But one thing that I think if we're going to change in, it should be, how can I be a better human being? Mostly, first of all, for myself, but then from the overflow for other people. Because I can't be good to people if I'm not good to myself. That should be the goal. But let's take a listen to how Amir is going to give honor to just how he got here, which again, we discovered how he got here. PragerU, even though he had a follow on Instagram, it catapulted him into this new stratosphere. And I mean, I'm happy that Amir is able to make a living for himself. I just wish he was able to make a living for himself. Like, if you're going to do the queer stuff, then actually become the middle individual. You can still have your own personal experiences, but use your platform to educate. And no shade. Even though I've been giving you the smoke and pushing the gas for a minute, I am still objective, and I still care more so about the human part, the part that you show us. That can be that can be discussed, that can be transmuted, that can be worked through. But you were able to go into a place in a space that you have also demonized for hundreds of thousands of people, including millions of people, giving their commentary in your comment sections about pride events, and then you actually went to one. You didn't just look at the clips that was being taken out of context or shot a certain type of way. You actually did the one thing that the PragerU people, that a lot of your straight supporters, your Christian supporters are not going to do. You went inside of the pride event, and instead of seeing the shit that you stated and agreed with everybody else that was conservative, that was actually happening, you actually had a good time. I'm still gagging about the good time part. No JJ. Damn.
A career, a job. I'm just so grateful. I'm the happiest, honestly, I've ever been in my life. And as someone y'all know who's been through hell and back, I'm just very thankful, and I practice gratitude every single day. I cry all the time, but I want to be clear that I am very honored to be in this position, and I'm very honored to have this community, and you guys can talk and network, especially my Patreon, which is only $1 a month. Be sure to subscribe to the Patreon.
Pause, no shade, because hopefully I can manifest some things like that in the future myself, because again, I make content and I would love to show you how I do it. But no shade, I would want to learn more about Amir Odom's backstory, and maybe he has a video on his channel, because again, the 42 videos that I talk about are the 42 videos he spoke about queerness, but he's also spoke about Black-ish and other things as well. I need to see if there's a video on his channel about his upbringing or his backstory, because I would like to know what happened to him, because he said he's been through shit and back. I want to know what that is, because I also been through shit and back. And see, I feel like when we focus on those experiences that are similar, even though they're unique in their own expression, it's still similar energetically. I feel like those are what we need to be connecting to more to get to the gray area. I've done it before with Ron Vugada. But the person has got to want to do that. And I feel like inside of Amir, I don't know if Amir, and again, this is just allegedly speaking, I don't know if Amir feels like he's like too deep into the ish too much. Because like he said, what he has now has been from the tremendous help of PragerU. And the people that follow him are a lot of people who do subscribe to PragerU, Summit Ministries, conservative, Republican, MAGA, Donald Trump. They do end up following him. So that is a big part of his fan base. And if I am wrong, then correct me then. Educate me then. Because I don't know everything. And I'm able to say that. But I would like to know what his backstory is, because I want to know all the shit that he went through. Because he could probably explain why we're here now. And if you do feel like you deep in, there is always a way out. And no shade, I would rather you, in the words of Jordan Peele's movie, get out. Because we can see the people that you looked up to are falling from grace with your conservative party. Republicans ain't fucking with Candace Owens no more. Daily Wire ain't fucking with Candace Owens no more. Brandon Tatum sat here and said that if his damn child was unalived, he wouldn't even cry to his wife, your helpmate, who's supposed to see you in the best of times and worst of times. But yet this nigga cried when Charlie Kirk's unaliving, and wasn't even invited to the motherfucking funeral. Christian Walker went from talking about conservative shit, and now he talking to white girls while sipping on goddamn mocha chocolatayayas. talking about if that man doesn't love you by now, he will never ever love you. And this is the crazy part, like I said. I have different types of men that I've grown to be attracted to over the years. And one of them is I'm attracted to black dudes who seem like they only into white dudes. Because again, Amir Odom is not ugly by far. I told you, one thing that is very attractive on a man, especially a black man, is when a black man got a big ass motherfucking Michael Jackson nigga nose. Do y'all see Amir's nose, baby? That's a nigga nose. Girl, I low-key want to say some damn... Girl, it's some intrusive thoughts that I want to say, girl, and we in the midnight hour, so I guess I'm safe to say this, girl. He got that type of nose, girl, that when they take it all the way down to the base, girl, they nose pushed right there on the shit. And you can feel the nostril hair. Breathe again, breathe again. And I should never, and I just can't think of... I mean, I can on my head, and I just can't think of. But he's not ugly at all, and it seemed like again his personality is quirky. I like quirky ass niggas. No shade. I like corny niggas. The motherfucking cheat code to my heart is if you can make me laugh and you can make me think. Besides the attraction there, but you got more than that. And you low-key got a little bit of a smart-ass mouth, because I want a Martin and Gina type of relationship, but homosexualized. You know what I'm saying? But even Christian Walker. Baby, I will fuck the acne out of Christian Walker. Girl. I would have this nigga stop drinking Starbucks and making fried chicken at the house, girl, walking around with a moo-moo, bitch. Butt ass naked underneath, girl, because he got a nice booty. Playing Jill Scott's latest album, talking about, you want to hit this? Hell yeah. Now all we got to do is just save your daddy's soul from the sunken place, and we'll be a great big family. Girl. But he falling for grace. Christian Walker. Herschel Walker. We don't know where the hell he at. Was he abducted by aliens? Y'all's about to have this big, tall, green, mild-looking ass nigga, girl, and the mind to match. Girl, y'all talking about DEI. Let's get into it real quick. Why you got all these people who talk different and sound different leading shit? You got JFK Jr. What's that doing? Girl, he sound like a damn alien trying to stay in human form for Men in Black. You got Herschel Walker running around looking like the motherfucking black nailed nigga from 13 Ghost, bitch, before he became the ghost. Girl. This nigga look like the damn monster from motherfucking Fifth Element. You know them big ass, ugly looking motherfucking just elephantitis looking ass motherfuckers. Little Dally Multipass. You know that? Falling for grace. The one dude that was sitting there thinking that he was winning the debate against Amanda Seals. And you know this, and you know that with them tight ass motherfucking pants on, high waters, girl. And they dropped him like Amir. That's why I said in my video essay, when that happens, I want you to know that BubzDaGawd is here to have a conversation. I ain't gonna say I told you so, even though I may do a live with that energy. But again, we have to also practice empathy and humanity, especially with people who are willing, like you said, to make changes. And if we're gonna hold up that whole changing thing, you're conservative today, you could be different later. And to be honest, if you ask me, I feel like for those who are Democrat, but see that the Democrats ain't doing ish, for those who are Republicans, but don't see the Republicans doing ish, we have to stop playing games and create our own power, our own party. And if we feel like we can't do that, this world will never change because we will be waiting for other people to do it. And as we see through American history, they haven't. Y'all got me looking at y'all like I'm Jaguar right. Let's continue, y'all.
It's such a good time.
I wasn't
I'm just
planning
so
to be
grateful
live
and
this
honored to be
long.
here. So, with that being said, thank you for your time. I hope that you're going out there becoming the best version of yourself, and you understand, know, and trust and love that you can be anything you put your mind to. That you work hard on your goals and dreams. That you put yourself in tunnel vision. Don't be worried about someone else. Obviously, unless you're impeding on your rights or harming children. Think about yourself. Think about how you want to tackle the world and become the version that you want to be. You control this more than you really think you do. So do what you need to do to get to your goals and dreams. With that being said, much love, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Deuces.
So, you sit up here and tell people to continue to pursue their dreams of what they want to be, just like how PragerU had you in that first video talking about if you just work hard enough, you can be anything and everything you want to be. And then when people literally take that seriously and actually start manifesting that, and it happens to be in an experience of trans or queer or black or whatever the case may be, this system controls that fucking narrative. And I'm tired of people acting like that shit is not there. We have gotten to where we are right now simply because of the fear and the fucking ignorance that no matter how much information you bring, how many receipts you bring, how many statistics you bring, how much fucking descriptive stuff that you bring, which is objective and observational, despite what reality, what society is actively showing us and actively telling us, you subscribe to a narrative that is more prescriptive, and they can't even hold up to prescriptive shit and don't even know what the fuck prescriptive is because they use descriptive shit in a prescriptive type of way, and then their fucking prescriptive mindset that comes out as a descriptive argument gets broken down when the same descriptive person uses the descriptive argument against the descriptive shit that you was using as a shield, and it falls apart and you look like a fucking fool. But now is the time for education, y'all. As CTV said, the scripture reads that people perish for the lack of knowledge, but we also perish, and this is what he added on, but we perish because of us not applying that knowledge. I can have all the knowledge in the world, but if I ain't got no energy or no action to that bitch, it's just gonna be that. And I feel like, Amir, you have this platform, you have this reach. What you showed at the end, what you just showed us through this video essay, I mean, my video essay, but through this video here, as far as your Pride recap, again, I don't know if you put the title up to bait people in or to drag them in, because if people were really paying attention like how I pay attention, and a lot of the people who subscribe to me pay attention because they have no choice but to be objective, they're not perfect, but they're objective, they were able to, again, listen to the source, not Fox News. Not what somebody else says, not hearsay, but to see for yourself. And let's see what your comment section said because of that. I'm going to read some of the comments. Look at the newest one. It's 12 days ago. This person says, children absolutely have no, despite all that we just fucking saw, despite Amir Odom being there himself, the objective one. Listen to what his people took from that. Children absolutely have no place in spaces like these. Shame on all of you adults that think it's appropriate. It was 12 days ago. Again, the video came out last year. 3 weeks ago. Do whatever the hell you want, but leave the kids alone. Kids should not be exposed to this crap. Someone says, figure I'm not going to see the same thing here that I saw during the Toronto Pride Festival. Toronto and San Fran, obviously, have no controls on nudity, full, not semi, even though there are a lot of way underage people there. That's what's put there. It's just fine. Say the police, as long as they aren't acting inappropriate. A lot of people say stuff without thinking how it will pan out. You can't include everyone in everything. It just doesn't work. Someone else says, the love is love thing from the queer community always gets me, because I'm wondering this. Are there any limits? Would they think pedophiles are perfectly within reason to share their love is love philosophy with minors? Well, obviously, y'all seem okay with it because the Epstein Files has a lot of the pedo shit in it that has nothing to do with the drag queens and the homosexuals and the fagates and the trainees and all the rest of them, but with the people that's on your side, and y'all are very quiet and making excuses. I can't wait till y'all start coming my way with y'all stuff, baby. I want y'all to come my way. Please, I want y'all to come my way. I want to talk to y'all that think this shit. Because y'all love talking y'all shit under places that is an echo chamber. But if you really preaching truth and all that shit, come to Bubz. I'm asking for it. I asked the DL blown out booty hole nigga for it. He ain't give it to me. Because the bitch is half dead anyway. People, again, let's continue. Someone commented at 226, good point. But what kid would be intentionally looking for or watching some of these provocative things that we see at Pride on purpose? But yet Amir couldn't show that at all in his fucking video. Someone else says, a timestamp, either ignorance is truly bliss or they know that what they're saying is a lie and they refuse to own up to it. Do these people honestly believe that young children are not going to be on puberty blockers when they claim to be trans? Obviously, they're left us. And so they're going to believe whatever CNN or whatever leftist news outlet is going to tell them, which they're lying to them anyway. But do these people literally actually not know that the very young children are being put on these harmful hormones when they claim to be trans? But y'all have a problem with them socially transitioning, though. Oh, baby girl just went in, girl. She went in. Who else here? Trust the science. Also, puberty blockers are reversible. No, but there are a few people that go on there and talk with these people like that. Thank you for providing a floor for people to just talk. Someone says, good dude, you got some good pythons. Yes. Amir arms was some nice arms. Someone said you got some big ass arms for a gay dude. I love that you're going out there with the truth and making them think. No politics involved or anything. They need to understand that they can be for the truth without being Republican or conservative. Common sense should not be associated with just one political party. Well, I don't know why y'all saying the Republican Conservative Party has common sense, girl. They fucking the country up. Let me see. Someone that says, bro looks exhausted after her explanation. Questioning his choices of company, perhaps? Someone says, I've been to Pride events and I'm part of the community. I don't want my grandkids at a Pride event. It's about sexuality at a Pride event. Taking kids to it, to me, is grooming, period. Someone else said, this makes me so mad. Oh my God. Someone says, I need someone to start asking what is a man to see if the answer is different. Someone else says, I like how articulate Amir is in framing the truth in such a way that the truth is very hard to deny. It's kind of reverse brainwashing in that it washes away one illusions partly created by our own toxic environments, namely the corrupted media. Someone else says, yeah, it's very confusing indeed. I just mind my own business and go about my life. Ain't got that time for all the foolishness. It gives me anxiety. Someone else said, God Almighty is coming to judge this wicked world. Repent of this abomination while you have breath in your lungs. Jesus Christ can and it says Jesus Christ can and set you free. Not Jesus Christ can and will set you free. Call on him today and repent. Someone else says, straight male here. I just want to pass some knowledge on to anyone in the queer community here. Understand that many people on the right or what they may believe based on certain political stances right-leaning. Don't care if you're gay or not. Many of us have family and friends who are queer. The Republican Party isn't all Christian conservatives who believe that being gay is a sin. I believe myself a libertarian who strongly believes in individual freedom, more so than collective freedom. The problem with our country that people on the right and left don't seem to understand, okay, is that when you try to make rules and laws that favor your preference, others have to live under that. I don't see why we can't, as a society, not force our views onto others while still living our life the way we want. For example, there are plenty of Christians who believe being gay is a sin, but they don't believe in using the power of government to suppress the freedom of a gay individual to love and marry who they want. Is this person alive and aware in what the fuck is happening with this administration? Now, my personal views. I don't care at all about who anyone wants to love, and I don't believe in any particular religion. I'm not atheist, but I just have a hard time believing that gay people just wake up one day and decide to be gay. They are just like us. They're born to be attracted to particular characteristics. Well, you ain't got to understand it because it's not your reality. We're not asking you to understand the foundation of being gay. We only want you to understand that queer people are human beings just like you. And yes, I would love for a day where racism is no longer an issue, because I'm sure out of everybody, black people is tired of talking about this shit. I wish queer phobia was not something that we were dealing with, because I'm pretty sure out of everybody, the queer people are tired of the fucking conversation. It would be dope to be able to see man and woman, or man and man, or woman living their life without people having a fucking conniption or an aneurysm because it's some gay shit. And like I said in my video essay, there is no smoke, there is no level of accountability, no level of awareness, no level of correction when it comes down to the heterosexual community, but y'all happen to have so much for us. Someone else says in Denmark, they let children transition only to find out years later most of them have regretted every bit of it. That's why, in my opinion, you need to be at least 18 to even consider something like that. Even though this administration does not want to just get rid of gender-affirming care for trans or for children, they want to get rid of it for adults as well. That is fact. Someone else says, as someone not crazy and conservative and draws furry characters, we aren't interested in animals. Not all are it says trabs, T-R-A-B-S is what it says. In fact, that didn't start until, girl, the they-them shit did. I need some grammatical shit here. And they took over. We just like drawing animal characters and practicing other mediums of art, such as acting and non-sexual role play, no different than anime role players that also often watch anime with furry characters in it. If they are the very loud, rare few that draw sexual content, we have strict rules. Humanoid body only. No animal genitalias. No four-legged animals doing shit or four-legged doing anything with two-legged. We seem to be represented by the few that are loud because, honestly, we just want to sit alone and draw and make stories. That's all. We do tend to be a bit antisocial. So these activists took over, and we have to tiptoe around, or else they will literally cancel us, dox us, take our OCS to the point, original characters we made from our art stories. We have to take them to court to get them back because they sell these characters, and the people put them on merchandise and in comics, making money off of what isn't there, and stalk our locations to make sure we can't come back to the internet. It sounds like somebody from my drama club wrote this. Furry and pup plays are fetishes, and many queer people say kinks are part of the Pride event, but I am wondering, where do they draw the line, because there are pretty dark fetishes out there. If fetishes are something to be celebrated, then why should fetishes be better than other? I also feel like participating in Pride means you should support every damn thing out there, from freeing the Palestinians to fetishes. It's so weird to see all these things side by side. I'm not going to continue to read. You can read it for yourself. If anything, this just literally proves that his audience base is not even fucking listening to what these people are saying in the shit. Or at least since Amir failed at his job, they have to do his job for him in the comments. I guess because he provided them with something, even though he ain't do what he was supposed to do, hell, we'll deal with that. But again, Amir enjoyed himself, and Amir also learned from the experience, and he felt like people also learned from his experience, even though they literally was already agreeing with you with their answers. So I feel like you were doing more of the learning than them, because again, you're learning about them. They're telling you about their experience and what they learned, because they're around the people that you're not around and that you think is weird. But I just wanted to come through and do that live, y'all. I was not planning to be live this damn long. And I've really been trying to enjoy myself and to just have some personal time to myself because I was working on this video essay, then doing these lives and other stuff that was happening in my life. I just need some time to just sit the fuck down and do nothing. And even when that happens, my mind is always somewhere else. So hopefully, the rest of this month, I'm planning on taking some time off to just recharge. And then in March, I'll figure out what my next project is going to be. But yes, thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, first of all, if you can, please make sure you hit that like button because it helps the channel to grow on the algorithms. We are at 1,000, I think 120 something subscribers the last time I checked. But anyway, thank y'all so much for liking. Appreciate it. If you like the vibe over here on BubzDaGawd, make sure that y'all hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can stay up to date with all of my content, both long form and live. If there's anything I've said in this live or any of my content that you agree with or disagree with, you want to just read me down or whatever, just go the fuck in on me, I give you permission to use any of my content on my platform. All I ask is that you just tag me at BubzDaGawd so that I know that it's real. And if you feel compelled, you can definitely hit me up in the Cash App, $Conscious TV. That's CONSCIOUZ TV, okay? I need to get a new Cash App. And I've been busy with other shit, so I haven't been able to really get that shit together. But if you want to donate to the platform, you can go ahead and donate through Cash App. Or if you want to, Super Chat, even though YouTube is going to take a nice little pretty penny from that shit. But if you want to direct me more support... If you want to direct me more supportly, girl, what? If you want to support me more directly. The fuck? If you want to support me more directly, you can definitely hit that Cash App. Again, $Conscious TV, CONSCIOUZ TV. Okay, and put in the message for BubzDaGawd. Okay, so thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all check out my video essay, Amir Odom, the house gay. And again, if you want to win a free piece of merch, because nobody in the comment section did it yet, so I guess y'all don't want no free shit. But if you want some free shit, there is a challenge in my video essay, including the disclaimer. I say 42 a certain amount of times. The first 5 people who are subscribed and are active in the chat, and I know who you are, the first 5 people who was able to come out with the total number of times that I said it, you 5 will be entered into a raffle, and then one of you will be able to win a free piece of merch from BubzDaGawd, because I kind of want to start giving back, especially now that I have, you know, some support that's able to do things for me in that regard. So I definitely want to give back to you guys for helping me out. And if you want to do that, go ahead and do it before it's over with, because no shade, girl. After about a week, if I'm seeing comments and one person just do it, whoever that one person is, you got it. No shade. But again, thank you so much for coming through. Shout out to Queen Stevie. Shout out to Queen Amber. Shout out to, of course, the Objectivist podcast in the building. Shout out to King Deshaun in the building. Let's see. Shout out to Miss Candy Crush. Miss Candy, baby. Of course, lollipop. Shout out to, again, the Objectivist for the fucking super chat. Okay, I got my super chat about like 2 days ago, and y'all been blessing the ninja. So let's continue this thing. Shout out to the Black Anarchist podcast. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to him. Dope ass commentary. Make sure y'all go ahead and buy Blame It on the Dress as well as his latest book. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to those of you that were in the bushes, girl, just sitting here watching, never saying anything on some real creepy ass ish. At least when I be doing shit, I be talking, I be saying something. I do, but I'm just saying. But anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening or your morning, shall I say. And I'll be seeing y'all. Peace.
I can be anything I choose in this round. We are a sound vibration too deep to tell.